Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. We got some breaking news here to cover. The Las Vegas Raiders have released former first-round pick back in the 2019 draft, Johnathan Abram. He is no longer a member of the Silver and Black, and realistically, this move does come at a little bit of a surprise. So what I want to know down in the comments section is, did the Raiders make the right move by moving on from Abram? Type Y for yes, or I want you to type N for no. Now, what you guys are going to get here on our live show is we're going to break down why I personally believe the Silver and Black decided to move on from Abram. We'll talk about Johnathan, what he did good, what he did bad, and now what the Raiders are going to do moving forward, entering NFL Week 10. On top of all of that, you guys are going to get our normal live show like we always do here on Tuesdays. We got over 1,000 people tuned in, and I know a lot of y'all are wondering what the heck's happening. GJ, I saw your super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. So, did the Raiders make the right move? We got TJ King, yes. Corrupt, no. R-Dog, yes. Robert Harris, no. Sean Mills, yes. A_JEW, yes. Aaron Sosa, yes. Debbie Harper, fire Josh McDaniels. I'll tell you this, if you want the Raiders to fire Josh McDaniels, hit that like button right now. Everybody, welcome in my co-host, Jeremy Chugs. Major shout out to Chugs. Want you guys, again, anytime that there's breaking news, we're going to do our best to make sure that you guys are staying up to date. We're going to break down everything that there is to know about this deal. So I will say this. Even though Abram was a first-round pick and he was absolutely a disappointing player, there is always that expression, once a Raider, always a Raider. And I want you to type 24. But I also hope that the Raiders do this. I hope they retire the number 24. Not for Abram, for Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson is one of the greatest of all time. And I get the Raiders don't do the whole retiring number thing, but 24 is a number that I hope nobody ever wears it again. And I want y'all to show Abram some love. I know I'm one of his biggest critics out there. I'm really not surprised that this move happened. I'm not surprised that the Raiders don't like Abram. I am surprised, though, that they decided to cut him, but it sounds like they tried to trade him.
Out of left field.
Yeah, when you saw all the reports out there about trades, and then Patrick Graham, they've been trying to work him in. His snap count's been going lower and lower and lower. Yep. That's why I had him as listed as one of my top 2 most likely players to be traded. I knew this Raiders team didn't really like him all that much. We got Mr. Clean down in the comments. Gus, Alec, Davey, RB Dog, Jay Hodge. Appreciate y'all turning in. Now, what about this? Be real with me. Do the Raiders right now have the worst front office in the NFL? I'm talking, when I think of front office, I think of general managers, and I also want you to throw in the coaching staff right now. The only other team that might have a worse coaching staff in front office could be the team that Las Vegas is going up against this week at the Indianapolis Colts with Jeff Saturday, and then their interim OC who's never called a single play in his entire life. I mean, that's been an absolute disaster. I have always said I don't like McDaniels. I understand people still wanting to try to stick with him because there's a lot of people out there like, it's a Derek Carr problem. It's a Derek Carr problem. I'm not going to sit up here and say that. I do think the Raiders right now might be the worst coach team in the NFL, though. So y'all can let me know. We got Brandon Jones, Rudy Reyes, Lucky King, Matt, what up, Francis?
Seeing
George.
a lot of W's.
I am seeing a lot of W's. I mean, when you think about the fact that this Raiders team is 2-6 right now, I don't know if they're looking for a scapegoat and they're just like, all right, we're going to get rid of Johnathan Abram. He's going to be the player that we move on from, and that's going to solve all of our problems. To me, that's kind of a crazy thing to think about. So, Jeremy, I think what I want to do now, I want to get into the Abram cut.
All right.
So what we're going to do here, y'all, is we're going to break down everything that you need to know about the Abram move. And if you send in a super chat, we will be able to put it up on screen. We'll do mailbags. We'll answer your questions, just like Still Will did here. I say we trade Carr for the best DF player. Oh, man. Nathan Peterman, he at least gave us 3 wins this year.
Raiders!
Problem 1. NFL trade deadline is over. Problem 2, Carr has a no trade clause. So, trading away Derek Carr. I know you're just kidding with the whole Nathan Peterman talk, but trading DC this season, no, I don't think it's going to happen. Now, moving on from DC next offseason, that's absolutely a conversation that we can have here on today's show and every show going forward. Now, I am seeing a lot more super chats coming in, so YO James, we will get to those after we break down the latest news here that the Raiders have moved on from Johnathan Abram. I'm going to tell you who I believe is going to step up. I'm going to tell you why I think it happened. We'll go through all of the numbers that y'all need to know in terms of stats, PFF grades, the money that the Raiders save, all that good stuff right there. That is what you are going to see. And Hellcat, I see the super. I'll show y'all what we got going there. Okay? Yep. All right, sounds good. That sounds good to me. All right, guys, coming up right now, we're going to get into the latest around the Raiders moving on from Johnathan Abram. Jugs, you ready to get it going? Okay. I got you. All right, guys, coming up right now here on the Raiders Report, some Johnathan Abram breaking news. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and remember, anytime that there's breaking news, we're going to cover it here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, but really important to turn on that notification bell, because if you wake up tomorrow and you don't know that the Raiders cut Johnathan Abram, that is a you problem. Jeremy, Jugs, and I will keep you updated, so subscribe and turn on those notifications. We got some breaking news here. The Las Vegas Raiders have cut safety Johnathan Abram. Let's face it, John Gruden and Mike Mayock, their ability to draft players in the first round, it's been absolutely disgraceful. When you think about Cleveland Ferrell, Josh Jacobs might be the only guy that's halfway decent, but they already declined his fifth-year option. And now Abram. Abram was the third player at number 27 overall, drafted all the way back in 2019. And since the day he's been drafted, I have sat up here on this channel and expressed my displeasure for his ability to cover. In my personal opinion, in the NFL today, if you're going to be a safety that gets drafted in the first round, you got to be able to cover. And Abram has never been able to do that. I have said from the jump, Abram is going to be a bust. I tried to make up videos trading away Abram in 2020, 2021, hell, 2022. I wish Abram nothing but the best, and I truly mean that. But we got to face the facts here. He was a bad fit with Paul Guenther. He was a bad fit with Gus Bradley. He was a bad fit in Patrick Graham's system. I am a little bit surprised that the Raiders are deciding to do this after the NFL trade deadline, but we'll talk about some more of that here in a little bit. So the Raiders Report, I want to know what you guys have to say, and give me your honest opinion. What are your thoughts on the Raiders releasing Johnathan Abram? You can say it's been a bust. You can say it's a surprise. I want to know what you guys have to say about the Raiders releasing Johnathan Abram. And push me full screen here. My personal thought is either the Raiders are looking for a scapegoat, because as far as I'm concerned, this coaching staff is not able to say, this is our fault. I have yet to see this coaching staff really do that. It was either they're looking for a scapegoat at 2-6. He is a bad fit in most NFL defenses. Yes, he absolutely is. The Raiders tried him at linebacker, a little bit like a dime linebacker. That didn't work out. They tried him at strong safety. That didn't work out. So the Raiders looking for a scapegoat. But the fact that they released him, I think he could have at least played special teams or something for the Silver and Black. Now, when you talk about disasters, I mean, you want to know first-round picks that just absolutely flopped. Here is the Raiders' first-round picks from 2019 to 2021. Cleveland Ferrell, fifth-year decline. Josh Jacobs, fifth-year decline. Now, Jacobs, though, he's one of the best backs in the NFL. Johnathan Abram, cut. Damon Arnett, cut. Henry Ruggs, cut. Alex Leatherwood, cut. It does not get much worse than that. So I know a lot of people hate Josh McDaniels, which I can't stand that dude either. But, let's be real. You're never going to bring back John Gruden. You're never going to bring back Mike Mayock. And this Raiders team has struggled. But they've also struggled because all those missed draft picks have not only been bad, they've been just downright disastrous. So we're going to keep on breaking down all the numbers behind Abram, who's going to have to step up for him, his PFF grades, all that kind of good stuff. But before we do, I got to give some love to today's sponsor, Established Titles. I know the holidays are right around the corner, and I don't know about y'all, I always spend time trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to give my loved ones for the holidays. And this one, really, really cool idea. So go to establishedtitles.com/chat. And if this is the first time you've ever heard about this sponsorship, well, hey, this is what it is. The Raiders Reporters are sponsored by Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities on tree planting and trees for the future to support global reforestation efforts. You can officially include the title lord or lady on your credit card, plane ticket, dating profiles, etc. It makes a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link that you guys see down there below will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we could build our own little Raider Nation. So it makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running an awesome early Black Friday sale right now with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use code CHAT, you get an additional 10% off. So establishedtitles.com/chat. I got my plaque right here. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, actually, I'm trying to get my driver's license switched to say Lord Mitchell Renz. Y'all can have that too. You can get it for your couples. You can get it for your dog. You can get it for your mom, your dad, all that kind of good stuff. All right, back into the Johnathan Abram news here because the Las Vegas Raiders, they moved on from him. When I think about Abram, he had opportunities. He had plenty of chances to try to make it in the NFL. The issue was the Raiders didn't know where to put him. They had no idea where they were going to try to line him up because whether they lined him up as a dime linebacker, it didn't work. A strong safety, it didn't work. Early on in the season, there was a point where I was like, man, maybe it will work because the first 2 games, he actually did okay. Patrick Graham has been looking for a Jabril Peppers type of strong safety that he can use all over the football field. What you're going to see now is a lot more of Duron Harmon. You're going to see a lot more of Trevon Merrick. And I actually think, shout out to Hootie Lord, I also think that the person who's probably going to have to step up here a little bit more also is the UDFA from USC, Paula Allo, who is technically, I believe, right now in the practice squad. So that could be somebody that you're going to promote. But, let's be real with each other. Johnathan Abram was not worth a first-round pick. Not only was he that, he was a liability. The Raiders were better without Abram last season, and I can make the argument they were better without him this season when he's not on the field. You look at his 2022 PFF grades and overall 49.5. He's supposed to be good at stopping the run, a 43.4. Homeboy's too busy trying to punch footballs out instead of actually making a tackle. Pass rush, great. And then a coverage grade of 51.6. So looking at all those numbers, after seeing the Raiders depth chart, I need y'all to name a player right now who needs to step up for the Raiders. It doesn't have to be at safety because the player that I believe the Raiders are going to hope takes that next step, can step up and play at a more high level. When he comes back, it's going to be Nate Hobbs. I think you could see Nate Hobbs play different roles here. The guy that I think that the Raiders are going to bet on, Sidney Jones. Yeah, I know, different positions. They just signed Sidney Jones this week. You could see Sidney Jones on the outside, and then right next to him is Rocky Sin. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with Anthony Averett because he's been a disaster. Look for Sam Webb to get more reps. Sam Webb has really stepped his game up. Luke Masterson is absolutely another name to keep in mind in terms of stepping up. This is going to have to be a team effort. You're 2-6 for a reason. Patrick Graham has been bad. Josh McDaniels has been bad. The players do deserve some blame as well. And when one of your top players, in terms of snaps, is released, it's going to have to be a total team effort. Yes, the Raiders need to get more pressure as well. Chandler Jones, I'm looking at you. All the defensive tackles, I'm looking at you. Because a lot of those players in the secondary, y'all are putting them out on an island because nobody can get pressure anywhere. You got 9 sacks this season. This number, 9 sacks, and 6 of them are from Crosby. That's laughable. Every single person on that defense needs to step it the hell up. Now, Abram will hit waivers, so that is something to keep in mind. He will hit waivers, and at 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, if a team wants to put in a claim for him, obviously that they can do that. Now, because of his contract, I would be surprised if a team does put in a claim. I expect him to go through waivers, very similar to what you've seen some other players do. Now, Chicago, they signed Alex Leatherwood when he was cut because they thought that he had a chance. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that's going to happen with Johnathan Abram. Now, there's that old saying, once a Raider, always a Raider, and I hate when people lose a job, especially when the coaches have been as bad as they've been, and they're going to fire someone else when, let's be real, they deserve to be fired. So even though Abram was not great, I will wish him the best of luck. I am going to type 24 down in the comments because as far as I'm concerned, did Abram have to deal with a lot in terms of 3 different defensive coordinators? Yes. Did he have to deal with COVID in that 2020 season? Yes. Did he have to deal with injuries? Yes, he absolutely did. But you know what? The Raiders, they probably actually did something nice by releasing him right now. So type 24, show Abram a little bit of love. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram, on Twitter. I put this information out probably a little bit over than an hour ago. If you want to get even more exclusive videos, hit me up on Locals, RaidersReport.locals.com. All right, Raider Nation, appreciate everyone tuning in right now. We got a lot of super chats to get to, and if you do super chat, we will put your questions, your comments on the screen right now. So I want to know, after seeing now that Johnathan Abram has been released, give me a player that needs to step it the hell up. Can I get some Chandler Joneses in the chat? Can I get some Derek Carrs in the chat? Can I get a Josh McDaniels and a Patrick Graham? Let's go to the super chat coming in here from YO. Jeff Saturday has a better win-loss record than McDumbass. It's not really true because you haven't won anything. So if you haven't won, then your winning percentage is a 0. I will say this, though. If the Raiders lose to the Colts this week with Jeff Saturday, who is not a coach, and then another offensive coordinator who's never called plays, like I get what Mark Davis has said. I get what all the reports say about not firing McDaniels. You have to fire McDaniels then. Like, you have to. James Gomez. So it was Abrams all along. Time to go undefeated. You know, you made that joke, but I think that the Raiders right now are trying to find a scapegoat. They're going to start moving on for some people. I said it yesterday on Locals. If anybody was watching on Locals, I said the Raiders I heard from a source, I should say that there's going to be a lot of things that happen this week, and there's going to be a lot of changes. So the people that watched me over on Locals, hey, y'all knew. Let's go to Hellcat Q. About time on 24, and Lord Mitch loved the jersey. So this one's for Hellcat. Hellcat got me a Raiders jersey to rep here on the Raiders Report. So major shout out to Hellcat Q. Let's go to Matt. We should have kept him. Solid form tackler. He was not even close to being a solid form tackler. Johnathan Abram was always trying to create a turnover by punching out the football. Abram, in all accounts, should not be a starter in the National Football League. He can be a special teams player. That's totally fine. He can be somebody who comes in on certain situations when you want to try to pressure the quarterback. This Raiders coaching staff, though, they gave him an opportunity, and he unfortunately failed. I will say, though, it blows my mind that nobody offered any kind of pick. Like, if you were going to try to trade him, yeah, you could have probably traded him. You're telling me nobody offered you a 2024 7th-round conditional pick? I think that's a little bit of a drop ball there on McDaniels and on Ziegler. Let's go to Lucky King. Now that Abram got cut, so you think Klee will get cut. They've been using Klee. And from people who I talked to, they are okay with the performance that Clelin Ferrell has put forth this season. I think they also understand how weak their defensive line is, and they might not admit it, but I don't think that they want to move on from Clelin Ferrell. Let's go to J Raider 84. Carr will be traded to where he agrees to be traded to. Then again, he just might retire before getting traded. Again, he's got a no-trade clause in his contract, so the only way he does get traded is if he agrees to it. I don't really think that he would retire because he's going to see, oh, man, I can make another $110.68 million if I play for somebody else. That's fine. I've said up here before, though, and I've said if the Raiders do not make the playoffs this season, I don't understand how you could possibly keep Derek Carr. Derek hasn't been good this season. I don't even think he's played like a top 20 quarterback, let alone top 10. And I'm not saying that's all on DC. Has DC missed a lot of throws? Has DC not come up clutch this season? Yes. Do I think this is the worst year I've seen Derek Carr play football since his rookie year in 2014? Yes. Josh McDaniels, though, also deserves a lot of blame. And if Mark Davis is going to sit up there and tell me that his job, McDaniels' job, is safe after blowing 3 17-point leads, that's Mark Davis telling you that he is picking McDaniels over Derek Carr. And if McDaniels wants to save his job, why the hell would he keep Derek Carr, who clearly can't run his offense right now? Let's go to Still Will. Who's the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft? Upside for each. I got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. Those are my clear top 2. And then I can make arguments. I watched Hendon Hooker this past week. He's 25 years old. JT Daniels is an intriguing prospect to me, maybe to target in round 2. Will Levis has all the arm talent in the world, still needs to grow into his body a little bit more. There's a lot of good quarterbacks out there. However, the only 2 that I would take in the top 3, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. Let's go to Hootie Lord.
Bang!
Bang! Sorry, I was grabbing the pen. Also, guys, for those of you that don't know, maybe you don't watch all of our live shows, every time you send in a $100 super chat, we put you in the Raiders Report Hall of Fame. When Jeremy and I get these parties rolling, we do beers out of boots. And every time, dude, I can't get this sticker. We put you guys on the Boot Hall of Fame. So what does that entail? You get put on the Boot Hall of Fame. We put the date that you got it submitted. And then once this boot gets totally filled up here, we then auction it off on a Raiders Report show. So Hootie Lord, you're getting some love here, my man.
Let's go. Hashtag Raiders for life. They gave Johnathan a shot. Didn't work out. Let's move on. Needed you right now, nation. Good luck, Johnathan. Lord, Hootie Lord.
Shout out to Hootie Lord. And I mean, they did give Johnathan Abram a shot. A lot of coaches gave Abram a shot. They did. Like,
speaking of shot,
that's up to you. If you want it, you can have it. I'm gonna try to keep this low cal for a little while.
I'm not.
So Chugs is doing shots for every $100 in super chats we get. So we're about
20 away.
20 away from more Fireball shots if you guys want some. Remember, here at the Nation, we drink together, we party together. We're a family. So Hootie,
24.
Shout out to you, Hootie Lord. Next super chat coming in here on the Raiders Report is Gregory. Adams and Carr are saying McDaniels is hot garbage truck juice. I don't remember them saying hot garbage truck juice. However, that might be one of the worst smelling things I've ever smelled. Like, have you ever had, like, in the summer, a garbage truck goes right by you, and you smell that just...
Hot garbage truck juice, that sounds like what's on Tyler's desk right now in that cup.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong there. Adams, though, did call out the Raiders coaching staff, and so did Derek Carr. Now, they didn't directly call him out, but anybody that can read and anybody that can read between the lines, they flat out were like, yeah, this coaching staff sucks. Let's go to Still Will. Everyone's spamming the comments, the car is broke. I mean, DC's not been good this season, right? Like, I mean, we got to be able to face the facts. I have defended Carr. I'm also not afraid to point out Carr's flaws. My job here is to give you guys my honest opinion, and Derek and Josh McDaniels' system looks like a bottom 20 quarterback. He does not deserve to be in that top 20 list. I'm sorry, he doesn't.
You know what?
It's really not close to me. He looks lost. He looks like he has no idea what's going on. And Jeremy, this is a really good question. When you think about the 2-6 record that the Raiders have right now, let me know down in the comments section who deserves the blame. And when I think it deserves the blame, I want to know who you guys think deserves the most blame. Is it Josh McDaniels type JM? Maybe you think it's Mark Davis, MD. What about Derek Carr? Give me a DC. Or is it Patrick Graham type PG? Who deserves the most blame here? I personally am going to rank them. At number 1 is going to be Josh McDaniels. But then I'm going to go Mark Davis because Mark Davis is the one that hired McDaniels. But McDaniels, with the team that Mark paid for, should still be able to win football games. I will then say it is a Derek Carr problem, and then at last it's going to be Patrick Graham. But if you just want to type all is absolutely positively an acceptable answer because all of these people have been very disappointing this season. Let's go to one of my friends here, Arbora 1992. Mitch, 100% agree with your take on McDaniels, but we also look at Carr. How many coaches will be blamed before we realize Carr is a problem too? I mean, I would say most Raider fans don't think that Carr is a problem, but most NFL fans do realize that Carr is part of the problem here. Has Derek dealt with a lot? Yes. Has Derek probably dealt with more drama than any quarterback in NFL history? I can sit up here and say yes. But my problem is, I do think that there is this whole like Einstein thing where if you try to do the same thing over and over and over again and you get the same results, it sucks. And I also understand when people are like, well, what happens when we lose Derek Carr? What happens then at the quarterback position? My argument would be the NFL is about Super Bowls and playoff wins. Derek has never even won a playoff game, let alone even sniffed the Super Bowl. So have you really lost anything? For you to finish 8-8, 10-7 every year, and then get bounced in the playoffs or not make it at all, to me, that might be worse than you having an early draft pick. So I get the fact that people want to hang on to DC, but at the end of the day, Derek's never done anything for this team. He hasn't. If you like stats, great. In terms of winning, though, he's literally never done anything. So you don't really have anything to lose. Let's go to Anthony Platts. 20 seasons, 2 winning. Oh, man, 16 losing seasons. It's been rough. There's no other way you can shake it. It has been a rough go-around for the silver and black and for this fan base. And the Raider Nation deserves better.
Yep.
We do a lot of shows here at Chat Sports, and the Raiders Report is unlike anything I've ever seen, but that's because of the diehard fan base that the Raiders have. Raider Nation deserves better, and I truly, truly believe that.
This one's for Trivan and Patrick B.
Shout out to Trivan and Patrick B. Also, guys, once we get through all these super chats here, we are going to...
We actually have a show.
We do have a whole show. We got a giant show planned, man. We got a lot of stuff planned. Also, Tristan, thanks for watching the show for the first time.
Our
Let's
show
go to Steven.
It's huge.
It's time to cut Josh McChicken now. They sound like they're going to keep him, but I have continued to say this. If you lose to the Colts this week, I know I've been pushing the narrative on social media to fire him. That's because I just never think he's ever going to be good, and I didn't want him in the first place. However, if you lose to the Colts, I'm telling you right now, I saw Josina Anderson's tweet, which I think is kind of bullshit because I heard something kind of different, which I'll talk about here a little bit today. But if you lose to the Colts with no OC, no head coach, you deserve to be fired. Like, there are no excuses for that. If you go up against a third-string quarterback, a team that has no Jonathan Taylor, like let's be real. So since we've been talking a lot about McDaniels getting the hook, if McDaniels gets fired, who would you want the Raiders to replace him? And I think about this in 2023, not this season, because if he gets fired this season, that just means that this year is an absolute disaster. I'm talking about who would you want to be the Raiders head coach the following season? Who would that be? We got a Mike Tomlin from Jukester, me from Andrew, Tim Brown from Wyo, Brian Flores from Vincenzo.
Would you trade a second-round pick for Mike Tomlin?
Oh, God, yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers wouldn't do that, but, I mean, the Raiders traded 2 for Gruden, 2 firsts.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to trade anything, if you're going to trade a pick, it's not for Tomlin. If I'm going to trade a pick, it's probably for Sean Payton.
I think Lord Only Dance has it right.
What does Lord Only Dan say?
He said Chugs.
Chugs. Hey, Chugs for head coach. Everyone who's saying Sean Payton, remember, you do have to trade a pick for Payton because he is still technically under contract by the New Orleans Saints. So definitely something to keep in mind there.
If you can't comment, that means you're not subscribed.
Very true. So if you're not subscribed, you cannot comment right now. Clifton said, not Eric Bieniemy. DeMeco Ryans from Devin. Eric LeBlanc says Mike Singletary. Flores from Adrian. Keep those comments going in. Let's go to the next super chat here from John Borelli. Best luck to Abram. Everyone needs to step the F up. I will wish Abram nothing but the best. He was a comical person. Yeah, he wasn't the best fit on this team. I think I've poked enough fun at Abram, though, in my time here at the Raiders Report. Let's go to Angel. 69 gritty McDumbass is sabotaging the team. Real one for life. 69 gritty. I don't even know how I would do a 69 gritty. Or do you just want the guy in the 69 jersey to do a gritty? Hey, you let me know. Let's go to Alex. Would they consider drafting quarterback Caleb Williams? Maybe. I know a lot of y'all like Caleb Williams. I think he's a good quarterback.
He's not available this draft.
Correct. He's draft eligible next year. So that would be the only thing. He's got to come out then in the 2024 NFL draft. I don't really want to have to wait that long on a quarterback. Let's go to Lord Abyss. So I had a tinfoil hat theory at a moment. I heard about Carr's contract rework. I was worried that I think you mean McDaniels would have a bad season on purpose so they could drop Carr without now cap hit, then pick up a new QB.
So that's actually been a theory going around on TikTok as well.
I don't see why a head coach would purposely have a bad season. I get what McDaniels did before with Jay Cutler, then they let go of Cutler, and then he got his own quarterback in Tebow. But, I don't understand why you would do that as a head coach. There's just nothing that makes sense to me why you would purposely try to lose games to get rid of your quarterback. I just won't believe that, man. Let's go to Tyrone. What up, man? Fix the defensive front, please. It's almost like we've been begging this Raiders front office to fix the Raiders front for, 2 years? The Raiders defensive tackle room has been a joke. The Raiders defensive line since, 2018? Has been abysmal, realistically. So
it's just sad you have one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL.
You do.
And arguably one of the worst defensive lines in the NFL at the same time. That is insane.
I think it's kind of wild to me at times when I see this coaching staff we got to get rid of the guys who don't fit. Maybe Abram's one of those guys. But, a lot of the players that the Raiders brought in this offseason to fit Patrick Graham's team, Jayon Brown, healthy scratch last week. Chandler Jones has been terrible. Bilal Nichols hasn't done anything whatsoever. I'm trying to think of some more names. Anthony Averett's been disgraceful. So, it's not like that they know even what fits their scheme because the players that they brought in to fit their scheme haven't really played well in their scheme. Let's go to my dude, Tryvan. What up, Tryvan? One of the goats around here. Does this mean we're going to see the Raiders sign a wide receiver this week? I always think it's funny where player gets released. I think the Raiders don't need a wide receiver, and then all of a sudden, bang, the Raiders go out and they address the need they don't have. The Raiders do have 52 players right now on the roster, so you do have an open spot. I'll tell you this, if the Raiders wanted to sign Odell Beckham Jr. to spark that offense, especially spark that passing game a little bit,
that'd be lit.
I wouldn't be mad about it.
I would immediately get an OBJ jersey.
Oh, dude, I would. OBJ. Patrick B. Carr looks upset at the play calling a lot. Hunter doesn't know where to line up on the route. I would rather be 6-2 with Papa, Rich, and Mayock and no Adams than this 2-6 and nobody on the same page. I agree with you. I love Devontae Adams. I had a hell of a time when the Raiders traded for Devontae Adams. But I 100% agree with you. Carr does not look happy in this offense. On top of that, I have never seen Renfrow look more lost. I've never seen this Raiders team look more lost. And that's even saying everything that happened last season. Adams is a great player, but I would rather be 6-2 with Rich and Mayock than 2-6 with the current coaching staff and the current climate of this team, because that team under Bisaccia, that team played. That team had a lot of heart. That team was not nearly as talented as the team that we have right now. It's either McDaniels that bad of a head coach or players don't want to play for him. You could tell me which one's worse. Patrick, one of the GOATs, cheers to you, bro. Let's go to Darian. Forearm. Why do you guys put Carr in there as the issue over the D? Because Derek Carr is a big-time issue for the Raiders. Watch the tape. If you go back and watch the tape, the amount of misses that DC has is mind-blowing. The one that's going viral right now around social media is Carr throws it to a check down receiver when Matt Collins is wide open. Raiders are down 24-20. Derek missed a wide open Amir Abdullah on a wheel route that Jeremy and I called on the show. Ooh. That should have been a touchdown. Instead, it's a field goal. DC has not been good this year. And when you are the quarterback of your team, you get paid as such. You have a bigger rod to carry, I guess is the way I'll put it. So Derek deserves a lot of blame. I will say that Derek Carr has been a bigger problem for the Raiders this season than the Raiders defense. And I am more than happy to say that to anybody out there. And personally, I think if somebody's telling you otherwise, then they're not really watching the games all that well. So I want to know from you, will this be DC's final season with the Raiders type F for final, or are you going to type DC for another year? The only way that I see him getting another year is if the Raiders have, 9 games remaining. You got to go 6-3. Raiders got to go 6-3. They got to finish the year strong for DC to have another year, because if you don't make the playoffs, I don't understand why in the hell you would ever keep Derek Carr again. It doesn't make sense to me. You can cut him, you can save $110.68 million, and then you move on.
Ooh. It's about 60-40 for final.
It's very close, and I get the splits, right? And if Carr can have this team rebound, if he can learn the McDaniels system, then yeah, you can give me the argument that he deserves to be back. But I'll also say if you're going to bring him back for another year, you better not pay him $34 million. Like, he better be willing to take a pay cut. And from people who I've talked to over the past 2 years, Derek never wanted to take a pay cut. Hell, Derek wanted even more money than he got. So keep that in mind. Let's go to Young Baller. Just saw the Johnathan Abram news, and it's a C grade. Yes, he was a liability in coverage. He was absolutely a liability in coverage, but it still depletes your defense here for a little bit of depth. I'll see what the Raiders plan on doing moving forward. Does make me nervous, though. Let's go to Guillermo. What up, Guillermo? Appreciate you tuning into the Raiders Report. We should have kept Mariota, LOL. This is going to be an unpopular opinion for some of y'all. Derek's been bad, but I still think that this Raiders coaching staff made the right decision. What you're not realizing is Mariota would have never been able to play in McDaniels' system. Like, that's the issue. Mariota, however, with the Atlanta Falcons right now, I think Arthur Smith deserves a lot of credit. Arthur Smith turned Ryan Tannehill back into something relevant. Ryan Tannehill and the Miami Dolphins was literally nothing. He then went to Tennessee. Arthur Smith's offense is very, very simple, and they're running almost the exact same offense that they ran in Tennessee.
And Mariota has a lot lot of the same skills as Tannehill.
Correct. I would still say Mariota better runner, Tannehill better thrower, but they're going to run that similar offense where it's going to be read option. And Smith has done a good job with Mariota in Atlanta, and as soon as Arthur Smith left Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill turned back to being a normal dude. So think about that. Mariota's looked good this season, no doubt about it. But you know what? And this is a crazy idea. Maybe coaching staffs that build their offense around their players is the way to go instead of trying to make your players fit into your scheme. Crazy idea. Crazy idea. Let's go to Alex. Would they consider drafting quarterback Caleb Williams? So, again, he's not eligible to come out this year.
I think you sent in the same super chat twice, Alex.
Maybe. Either way, 2024, Caleb Williams is available to be drafted. Let's go to Junebug Raider JB. We get rid of Abram, but keep Chandler Jones. I mean, you can't cut Chandler Jones. If you cut Chandler Jones, I don't have the numbers in front of me exactly, but I think it's literally like $40 million of dead cap hit. So that you're not gonna move on from. Chandler Jones is going to be a Raider for 3 years. The only way that he's not a Raider for 3 years is if they decide to eat a shit ton of dead cap money in his final year of his contract. But the next 2 years, Chandler Jones will be repping a silver and black jersey unless a team like the Buffalo Bills, a team that loses a premier edge rusher, needs somebody in the future, and then they go out and try to trade for him. That's like the only way to do it, but it can't happen this year. Let's go to one of my dudes here, J Raider 84. What up, bro? I got a gut feeling that Garoppolo is going to be a Raider quarterback. He has ties to McDummy, and the coach I like to see is Sean Payton or a young and upcoming college coach. Well, luckily for you, I'm going to talk about Sean Payton a little bit today. We're actually going to do some Josh McDaniels replacements in case he is fired. On top of that, Garoppolo is a name that y'all need to be able to keep in mind. I'm going to look at every single one of you in the camera. Derek Carr is a more talented quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. But that's not what McDaniels cares about. McDaniels cares about a quarterback that fits in his system. And from what I've seen, Jimmy Garoppolo would have more confidence in him running McDaniels' system than DC. So if you could save money by having Garoppolo over Carr, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what McDaniels decides to do. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Also, on top of that, I saw y'all talking about Tom Brady. I said this yesterday on Locals. If your idea, okay, you can hate Tom Brady all you want. If your idea is to have a quarterback for 1 year and draft a quarterback to learn behind that starter, who would you rather have your young rookie quarterback learn behind? Derek Carr, Tom Brady, or Jimmy Garoppolo? The answer should always be Brady, and you should hate Brady. But Brady's been the master of running the McDaniels system. And I would love for my young quarterback to learn underneath the GOAT. I really, truly would. Mark Davis tried to get Brady before. John Gruden said no. If you think that Tom Brady to the Raiders is impossible next season, I think you're crazy. I really do. I'm not saying Brady's good because he hasn't really been good this season. But McDaniels and Brady has those ties, and if the Raiders plan on drafting a quarterback, I would want my young quarterback to learn underneath Tom Brady. I would. I'm just being real. Let's go to Steven. What up, man? Since Gannon and the Raiders won 53-ish games till Carr, and Carr has won 59-ish games in less seasons, Carr still needs to go, but Davis and everyone in the top seats of the organization is to blame. Raiders have no chance. I mean, Mark Davis deserves blame. He does.
Raiders have no chance under Mark Davis.
Raiders have no chance under Mark Davis. I mean, I said this on social media. Mark Davis, your dad has worked so hard building the legacy of what the Raiders are. Right now, the Raiders are the laughingstock of the NFL. They are. They are the biggest embarrassment in the NFL right now. And I could make the argument they might be the biggest embarrassment in sports between the NFL, MLB, and the NBA because of what the expectation was and where you're currently sitting at. And on top of that, the way that you have lost games this season. And Mark chose that path. Mark has the opportunity here to right all the wrongs. He can sit up there like a man and be like, you know what? I hired the wrong guy. That's on me. And now you can move on. Instead, Mark's going to double down because he's too proud of himself and he can't swallow his pride. And instead, he's going to keep McDaniels out there. It's a joke. Let's go to Fadeaway 84. Thoughts on Jordan Travis or Cameron Rising for quarterback?
Jordan Travis, quarterback from Florida State.
Yep.
Looking at his numbers right now, not eye-popping.
No,
Last season, 62.9% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. This year, the same exact completion percentage, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
I'm a realist here, Fadeaway. I'll start doing a lot more quarterback dissecting in terms of film. I'll watch a lot of tape on guys. It's still in the middle of the season. I don't usually start doing my draft projects until after the Raiders season. I'll start looking at it a little bit more in depth, but to be honest with you, I'm not going to sit up here and give you a realistic answer because I haven't put in the amount of time or effort in to give you a real answer. Let's go to Gregory. Since Carr is most likely gone after the season, who should we get next year, and will Adams want to stay? I think Adams should want to stay. I mean, personally, if he wants to try to make $40 million a year, which is the final 2 years of his contract, I would hope that he would want to stay. On top of that, your quarterbacks, I made a video already for my top Derek Carr replacements. It's on the channel. Go check it out. I give you top candidates for trades, top candidates for free agency, top candidates for what you're looking for in the draft, and then there's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, if he hits the open market, the Raiders should do everything in their power to make sure that he is a Raider. What up, YO? McDaniels has a proven track record to fail. Facts, 13-23 as a head coach. I believe he is 7-23 or something crazy like that in his last 30 games. It's a weird number. Why not give a younger, fresh-minded coach a chance? It can't get much worse. A lot of the coaches that you're going to see in my Josh McDaniels video are a lot younger coaches because I agree. I would like a younger head coach unless we can get somebody else. Let's go to Sir Chai, 87. Trade Waller, Mark Andrews, and Hawkinson are better.
And he said,
this season they've been better. Keep Josh Jacobs. Zamir White is not ready at all. If you're going to keep Jacobs, it's going to cost you about $12.7 million as a franchise tag. Zamir is a good back, but he's not close to Jacobs right now, and you're kind of seeing that here a little bit. In terms of trading Waller, you might be able to trade him next offseason. It does sound like the Green Bay Packers offered a second-round pick, but that is – I'm not 100% sure how much I believe that because every single offseason, the Packers, they put out all these stories that, we tried to trade for this guy. We tried to trade for this guy because their fan base gets really upset that they don't trade or make any moves for Aaron Rodgers. So just because it came from Green Bay, that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to believe that, right? It's kind of like in the offseason when people are like, this guy's in the best shape of his life. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. Let's go to Cody. What up, bro? Draft a quarterback or trade/sign if we move on from DC. I just think it depends where you're at in the draft. If you're in the top 3 and you can get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, I think you got to do that. Let's go to William M. Raiders good last year. Now it's not DC. It is DC. I mean, you got to look at the facts. Look at how Derek Carr has played this season. I'm not saying it's 100% on DC, but he absolutely deserves some blame. Let's go to Darian. Top 5 offense, bottom 5 defense. Yeah, no, I mean, the Raiders aren't even close to a top 5 offense right now. And bottom 5 defense, they're playing like a bottom 5 defense. Yes. Patrick B. If we had to draft a quarterback, I would take the kid from Georgia. What about a guy like Baker Mayfield to Vegas? I don't want Baker Mayfield at all. And the kid from Georgia, Stetson Bennett, is a fun college story. But Stetson Bennett, to me, is not a NFL-ready quarterback. He is just a player right now on a loaded football team that's a game manager in college. And if you're going to be a game manager in college, I just don't think that taking Stetson Bennett makes too much sense to me. Let's go to David Taken. We got the Antonio Brown of the coaching, Josh McClown. As much as I hate Josh McDaniels, I don't think anybody's worse than Antonio Brown. Right now, the two people who I would love to just punch in the face, Antonio Brown and Kanye West. Those would probably be the top two guys. And I really think that they have a battle every week of who can be a bigger dumbass because they are right up there. Austin, what up, bro? Straight from Valley Brothers. Raiders are not my team, but love listening to the sports news. Y'all have great energy, and I love it. He said Ravens Nation. Nah, there's only one nation, but I appreciate you. Jeremy, what we have today, I think we can just show the helmet. So I know this season's been a rough season, y'all, and I get that. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to try to spice things up for you a little bit. My cousin Andrew, he owns a company, and they're called the Valley Brothers Collectibles over on Facebook. If you could put the link down in the comments section right now, that'd be great. Essentially, we're going to give away a signed Josh Jacobs helmet. All you have to do is go to the link that you see on screen, chatsports.com/Valley Brothers, or you can click on it right now in the live chat. If you give Valley Brothers a follow on Facebook, you are entered for a chance to win the signed Josh Jacobs helmet. We're going to probably do a lot of giveaways with these guys. I did some giveaways with them last year, but Jacobs has been one of the only solid players this season for the Silver and Black. So I know this season's been stressful. I know it's been a little bit of a headache, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I can just cheer you guys up a little bit with a chance to win a signed Josh Jacobs helmet. We're going to announce that winner on Sunday. Perfect. Yeah, so this is all you got to do. You got to follow Valley Brothers Collectibles on Facebook. Go to the post. It's got a picture of Jeremy and I on it. Comment, Raiders Report, comment on the Jacobs post. You do got to be subscribed to the Raiders Report, but everyone watching right now is subbed. And then the winner is going to be announced on Sunday. The plan is at the end of the third quarter of that Raiders-Colts game. So enter for a chance to win. Give them a follow. My cousin, he owns the company, and he's going to give us some more helmets. I will say this. The more people that follow, the more giveaways we will do in the future. Let's go to Pico de Gallo. DC finally has the offensive weapon in Davante Adams, and we still can't get the W. I'm looking forward to a new young quarterback after the season. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to a new quarterback too. DC's done a lot of good things for this organization, but the sooner y'all start realizing that it's not going to be Derek Carr next season, and if it is, it's him grooming a young quarterback. It's going to save you a lot of. It's just going to save you a lot of headache. I'm telling y'all right now. Pico, you're a real one. Let's go to Austin. Your thoughts on Brian Flores over McDaniels? I would have hired Brian Flores over McDaniels, but I thought what the Dolphins did to Flores was kind of shady. If I'm being 100% real with y'all, I think that it's this. If you want to keep Dave Ziegler, but you want to fire Josh McDaniels, the answer is Brian Flores because of his past ties with Ziegler in New England. However, if you move on from McDaniels, does it really make sense to keep Ziegler? That's a question that only Mark Davis can answer. Let's go to Anthony Platts. We will never be good until Davis sells. I hope you're wrong in saying that, but there is a lot of truth to bad teams stay bad, and I do think it's a lot of the time because of the owner. Mark Davis can't get out of his own way. Mark Davis might be a very smart businessman, and he has been. I did not like the move from Oakland from a football standpoint, but from a money-making standpoint, Las Vegas makes a lot of sense. Money, it's there, right? We're paying for the tickets, though. I think if Mark Davis wants to look himself in the mirror, though, and if he cares about his dad's legacy at all, he would either A, sell the team, or B, fire McDaniels. If he doesn't care about his dad's legacy, then don't do anything. Let's go to Christopher. McDummie's starting to butcher up the team for his guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by it. I don't think that McDaniels and Graham and all these dudes think that they're doing anything wrong. I think that they personally think that, hey, we got a bunch of guys that can't run our system, and if they can't run our system, then we're going to get rid of them. We know the Raiders got bad coaches. Why don't the Raiders wear their color rush uniform? You know, it's funny. I went back and I looked at Lane Kiffin back in 2008 wore all whites at home for the very first time in Raiders history. I encourage anybody this week that's going to the Raiders and Colts game, wear white. Don't wear black. I don't know why. I like Raiders color rush uniforms. I'm also new school in the idea of if the Raiders went with an all-black uniform, helmet, socks, pants, jersey, I think it'd be fresh. Let's go to Karma Control. MC tanking on purpose to get the number one pick and lose Carr. We will get Brady in the offseason. The Raiders' future will look good. I will never believe that a coach purposely tanks. I will not ever believe that. for the simple fact of you just never know what can happen in the NFL. And if you wanted to purposely tank, then making the contract for Carr and giving us even a little bit of confidence that he's going to be the guy is not the route that I personally would go because it doesn't set a very good precedent moving forward. I appreciate your super chat, but I'm going to simply disagree with the whole tanking idea behind that. So coming up here on the Raiders Report, I got a 5-step plan to fix the Raiders in the future. It's going to be a wild plan. It's going to blow y'all's mind. It's a plan that's involved in firing McDaniels, so hopefully y'all like that. On top of that, we will do a mailbag, so use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. So please, you keep those super chats coming in. We will answer your questions then. And then I'm coming up with McDaniels replacements if he's fired. I know what the stories are out there. I know what the beat reporters are saying. The issue is the beat reporters for the Raiders, there might as well not even be any because they don't have any inside sources. They don't have an inside track on anything. They don't really know a lot. And then you see other stories out there. I get it. All right, but I'm going to trust my guys. I'm going to trust my guys, the ones that told me Brandon Parker was done for the year when everyone else was telling you that that's not true. We've broken a lot of stories here on the Raiders Report, and I personally believe that McDaniels' job is not 100% safe, especially if they lose to the Colts this week. At least that's what I've been told. So we'll break down some McDaniels replacements if he's fired. It does mean, though, they would have to lose to the Colts. We'll see what happens. So coming up here on the Raiders Report, I got my 5-step plan. We will then answer some more super chats later on in the mailbag in about 15 minutes from Sir Child, Daniel Keenan, Eric Mitchell, Arbora, MD. I appreciate every single person in the super chat. I'm going to get a sip of water. And then for the next 45 minutes or so, we got some fun Raiders content to break down with y'all. We usually go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, but we decided to go live a little bit early for the breaking news that the Raiders moved on from Johnathan Abram. Let me get a sip of water, and then we'll get into today's show.
Glug, 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 glug.
All right, y'all, my 5-step plan that is going to absolutely blow your mind. Hang on a second. I just saw something pop up. Okay. 5-step plan coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Before I get into this 5-step plan, today's show is presented by Panda Supps. Let's face it, if you're drinking a lot watching the Raiders Report, I want you to be happier and healthier, and the best way to do that is by going to pandasupps.com. Use code GETHEALTHY. That's going to save you 25% off, and you're going to get a free shaker if you get some greens in your life. So, today's show is this. My 5-step hopeful plan, fingers crossed, on how the Raiders should fire Josh McDaniels, hire Sean Payton, and then sign Lamar Jackson in the offseason. It's wishful thinking. I get that. But you know what? I need some wishful thinking to get me through some of these dog days right now. So when I say to you, I'm going to come up with a 5-step plan to fire Josh McDaniels, hire Sean Payton, and then get Lamar Jackson in a Raiders video, if that sounds good to you, who's with me? Like the video right now if you're on board for that plan in 2023. So the first step that you got to do in that plan is simple. You got to fire Josh McDaniels. Move on from him. I'm done with this experiment. I understand what everybody has told me in the media that they're not going to move on from him. But look at his time in Denver. Look what he did to the Indianapolis Colts. Look what he's doing to the Las Vegas Raiders. This man is 13-23 as a head coach. And on top of that, he can't lead anyone. Nobody would ever follow McDaniels anywhere. And if you can't lead anyone, I'm sorry, you're not ever going to make it as a coach in the NFL. Step number 2, if you were willing to give John Gruden the type of money you did, I would say give that money to Sean Payton. Sean Payton is going to be available in the offseason to be a head coach. He wants to be a head coach again. So, if Mark Davis gave John Gruden a 10-year, $100 million guaranteed contract, I'd say, hey, Sean, you want that type of money? If the answer is yes, then you go give him that money. Because, Mark, you're going to lose more money by keeping around McDaniels because I don't think players not players. I don't think, well, players maybe not want to play for McDaniels, and I know Raider Nation doesn't want to go watch and pay those outrageous prices that you're charging right now. Friendly reminder, though, if you do want Payton, you do have to trade for him because he is still technically under contract. I know he's retired. He's working, I believe, for Fox right now. He is still under contract, though, with New Orleans, so you might have to offer up your first. If I told you a first-round pick, we get Sean Payton and Lamar Jackson, I think I would do it. Now, we still got more plans, but hey, I want you to watch until the very end of today's video because we're actually going to be doing a Josh Jacobs helmet giveaway. So if you want a signed helmet from the Raiders running back Josh Jacobs, stay tuned. I'll tell you how to get that at the end of today's show. Let's go to number 3 here. You got to move on from Derek Carr. DC, I just want to say thank you very much for everything that you have done for this organization. You've been a leader on and off the field. But my goal is to move on from Derek Carr. You can cut him, save $110.68 million. It's a lot of money. But if you're telling me right now I can save that $110.68 million and I can use that money and go out and get an upgrade at the quarterback position like Lamar Jackson, I'm going to do it. Use that $110.68 million on Carr and use that money to go out and pay Lamar Jackson. Maybe the Baltimore Ravens are dumb enough to let him go. Lamar's agent is his mother. There's not going to be any more contract conversation during this season. So you know what I would do? I would just start saving money right now. I would just get ready to unload a boat ton of money on Lamar Jackson's plate. I would straight up give Jackson $250 million guaranteed over the next 5 seasons. That's what I would give him. I'd say, hey, you want to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL? You should. You should want to be paid that type of money. So that's the type of money I would give Lamar Jackson. Now, if the Raiders do anything crazy, like get Lamar, hire a coach, fire McDaniels, you already know. We're going to be live here on the Raiders Report. We went live for the Johnathan Abram breaking news. Make sure you got that notification bell turned on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because it's going to be one hell of a season and off season here for the Raiders. Let's go to number 5. You make Lamar Jackson the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. You have to. It's the only way that you're going to get him here. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of money. Highest paid quarterbacks per year. Aaron Rodgers right now at 50.27. I'm giving Lamar more than that. Highest paid quarterbacks in guaranteed money. That belongs right now to Deshaun Watson. I'm giving Lamar Jackson more than that. Why? Well, for one, Lamar's a lot better than Deshaun, and Lamar's been better than Aaron Rodgers. So when I think about Lamar Jackson and Sean Payton, I get it. This is an absolutely crazy idea, right? It is. It's a crazy idea. But sometimes you got to get a little bit crazy. And I know Sean Payton loves Lamar Jackson. And I think if you could get Sean Payton on your team, then you're probably going to have a decent shot to get Lamar. If I was Lamar Jackson, I would love to play with Sean Payton. If I was Devontae Adams, I'd say, hey, DC, we're bros. Well, I got a chance to play with Lamar, an MVP. And if you got a shot to be with an MVP, you got to do it. So how much money would you offer Lamar to play for the Raiders? Seriously, honest question. How much money would you offer Lamar Jackson to play for the Las Vegas Raiders? I said $250 million guaranteed. I know, it's easier for me to say that because, let's face it, I'm not the one dishing out the money. We got some quotes to get into, too, around Sean Payton. But, I'm going to offer him literally a boatload of money. Whatever it takes, that's what I would try to do to make sure that Lamar Jackson ends up in Las Vegas. Now, some of you are like, well, how'd you even get to this point? I got to this point because I listened to Sean Payton on Monday Night Football. And Sean Payton has talked about coaching again. He's talked about players that he would love to coach. So here's this. Sean Payton on coaching again. If the right situation presented itself, I would definitely be interested. And there's no utopia, if you will, when it comes to teams. But if I feel like it was the right situation, I would have interest in that. That all being said, that could come in a year. That could come in 2 years. Do you want to know what the right situation is? Sean Payton and Lamar Jackson in Las Vegas together. The Raiders can make the deal. Mark Davis has been aggressive for a head coach before. The Raiders have not been afraid to shell out a lot of money. And on top of that, you're in Vegas. $250 million in Vegas is a lot more than $250 million in Baltimore. In fact, it's like almost an extra $20 million because of taxes alone. So, Lamar, you want to be the highest paid quarterback? Come to Las Vegas. Sean Payton, you want to be the highest paid coach in the NFL? Come to Las Vegas. I think that sounds like the right situation. Now, we're going to keep on breaking down this just insane idea of how the hell the Raiders can get fixed. But, hey, if you haven't already gotten started with our awesome sponsor, Panda Supps, I think you guys should. And the product that I want you to try out are their greens. Now, some of y'all get your greens through a different kind of bowl, but this is one that I want you to shake up in a blender bottle. And if you use code GETHEALTHY at pandasupps.com, you're going to get 20% off, and we're also going to throw in a free shaker. So the reason why I love greens, it's a great replacement for coffee in the morning. There is some caffeine. I also understand how busy a lot of y'all's lives are. I know my life's crazy. And eating healthy can be a little bit of a challenge at times. So scan this QR code right now with your phone. Get out your phone, scan it with your camera. It's going to drop you right on their website. And use code GETHEALTHY for 25% off. And you got to use the code GETHEALTHY to get a free shaker from Panda Supps. I use their products literally every single day, and I know y'all are going to really, really like it. Now, why would Sean Payton and Lamar even be an idea? Because Sean Payton on Monday Night Football said, I have a chance to be a free agent, and he has a chance to be a free agent. They were talking about people that Sean Payton would love to coach. Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, they were up there with Sean, and they're like, hey, what do you think about this Lamar Jackson guy? This is what Peyton said on Monday Night Football this week. Man, he's explosive. I think he's become a better down-the-field thrower, partly because the game he's playing in now is a little different from what he was playing in college. When you watch him here, the late nights, this guy, he just drives me crazy trying to come up with a defensive scheme to game plan for him. So not only does he love Lamar Jackson, not only does he literally say that we're both going to be free agents, he would be able to do wonders with Jackson. Look at these numbers here this season. 1,168 passing yards, 16 touchdowns. That's top 5 in the NFL. 6 INTs. What about from a running standpoint? He's top 10 in the NFL right now in rushing yards, and he's a freaking quarterback. 86 carries, 635 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got 38 first down runs. 42% of the time when Lamar Jackson tucks it and runs it, guess what? He's picking up a first down. So I get that y'all love Derek Carr, but you know it was a really easy way to calm down your fan base moving on from D.C.? I'm going to miss the hell out of D.C. I am. I know there's a lot of other people out there. You have to miss them. But an easy way to calm that down is go out and get an NFL MVP and Lamar Jackson. So why for yes and for no, let me know. Signing Lamar Jackson means no more Derek Carr. Honestly, are you okay with that? Something that I know that y'all are going to be okay with is a free signed Josh Jacobs helmet. This is a life-size Raiders helmet. And if you go to chatsports.com/ValleyBrothers right now, you have an opportunity to win it. So it is an authentic helmet signed by Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. You can see all the different angles there. They even got a nice little visor on it. Here's how you win. You got to follow Valley Brothers Collectibles on Facebook by going to that link that you see down there below. We'll be nice enough to put it for you guys in the live chat, down in the comments section, and in the description of today's video. You got to comment on the post. There's a picture of like Chugs and I standing there like that. Just comment Raiders Report, comment Mitch sent you, Chug sent you, I don't care. You got to be subscribed to the Raiders Report, and then we will announce the winner on Sunday during our live watch party for Raiders versus the Colts. So if you want a signed Josh Jacobs helmet, all you got to do is follow those steps. So here's my one more crazy, hopeful plan to fix the Raiders next season. A, fire Josh McDaniels. Number 2, you give Sean Payton, John Gruden type of money. Davis, I know you got the money. Make your fan base happy. Move on from D.C. D.C., thank you very much, but I'm looking for an upgrade. And if I can upgrade a quarterback, I'm going to do it. So then you use that money that you cut Derek Carr with, $110.68 million, you give that to Lamar Jackson. And then you make Lamar Jackson the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, making him want to stay and play in Las Vegas. If Lamar Jackson is on the Raiders, they are a contender for the Super Bowl every single season. All right, y'all. I know it's election day today. I'm not going to ask you red or blue, so how about this? Did you vote? Y for yes, N for no. We'll give you some shout-outs here on the Raiders Report. Coming up here, we're about to get in to a mailbag. So you guys can start using hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat, get those questions, comments on the show right now. After the mailbag, we're going to get into some Josh McDaniels replacements. And then after that, I think we're going to wrap up today's show, head out, unless y'all want to party. If y'all want to party, we absolutely can party.
A little confusing. I feel like some people are behind, maybe answering the Lamar Jackson yes
Maybe
or
they
no.
are. Maybe hit live. Up to y'all. Tyree says, yes. Black Lion Supreme, yes. Juan Hernandez, no. Question, no. Dale, no.
Mitch, did you vote?
I did vote. Jonesy won't like who I voted for, but I voted. MD, McDaniels will mess up Jackson's too. Let me know, y'all. Did you vote? So coming up now, we're going to get in to a Raiders mailbag. So use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. Get those questions and comments on the show right now. I mean, I believe the ones we got to get to, Sir Chai, Daniel, Eric, we still got a few in the queue. So if you want to guarantee a spot on this upcoming Raiders mailbag, I'd say the only way to do it is to super chat. I'll answer all y'all's questions. I'll put your comments up on screen for the next, we'll say 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how long and how many questions we get. After that, Josh McDaniels replacement. So, Chugs, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Are y'all ready? Pat Novak says, I vote for beer. I mean, I don't know how much beer we even have here at the studio. We got
We're
Truly's.
$26 away from another fireball shot.
I'll start if we can get the 500 in soups. I'll start drinking. So I know I said last week I had a dinner to go to for Alex's mom, which I did, and I showed up buzzed.
How was the dinner? Was probably amazing.
Oh, dinner was great. So Alex's mom's birthday is tomorrow.
You just look up, you're like, this food's amazing.
So Alex's mom's birthday is tomorrow.
Where are y'all going?
Well, they're coming over tonight, and I said I'm not going to drink. And it's going to be back-to-back weeks. So
what are y'all cooking?
I'm not cooking anything. With them, Alex's mom, man, she can cook. So I don't know exactly what it is, but if we can get 500 in soups, I'll start partying. I'll start drinking them. We'll stay live here a little bit longer.
We're 26 away from 400.
Yep.
And I'm taking a shot for 400.
All right, man.
But if we get to 500.
Hey, boots are right around the corner as well.
Crazy Mitch.
All right, guys, here we go. Mailbag coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Oh, man, 800 likes, too. We're almost there. Let's get to 1,000 likes. 1,000 likes. That'd be pretty dope, man. We definitely got enough people watching right now. So remember.
Hey, my guy.
John Keith.
John Keith was doing this to me on, what was it, on Sunday.
Sunday or Thursday?
On Sunday because it was the Jungle Bowl.
Oh, that's right.
No, nothing in the Super Chat. Just 5, and it would say Chugs.
Dude, that Jungle Bowl was awful.
It effed me up.
I'm not going to lie. I would say the chip, which I still got to get the chip, was the worst thing I've ever done on a Raiders Report show. Number 2 might have been that Jungle Bowl. I'm not kidding you.
I was effed up. I got home, and I didn't tell my fiance what we were doing that day. And she's like, are you okay? And I was like, I did a Jungle Bowl. And she was like, I don't know what that means.
English.
And I said, John Keith. John Keith fucked me up. John Keith.
John Keith, one of the goats around here.
$100 and Mitch is drinking.
Yep, it's very true. Very, very true. All right, here we go. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Y'all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Mailbag coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and we're going to be answering questions from Raider Nation. We went live on Tuesday, and if you see any question up here on the screen, remember it's from one of our loyal Raiders Report subscribers, and we go live every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, unless there's breaking news like, I don't know, Johnathan Abram getting released. Let's go to Sir Chai. Unpopular opinion. Let's go off of Colton Miller and John Simpson. Are you saying to get rid of Colton Miller? Yeah, no, you're not going to let go of Colton Miller. You can let go of John Simpson. In fact, Simpson's not going to be on the team next season. Miller, though, he hasn't had as good of a season. I was definitely hoping that he would take a step up. He's been disappointing. He's still your best offensive lineman. You're not going to move on from him. Daniel, Caps Keenan, Tank, drop Carr, get rookie quarterback, have shiz load of money to upgrade other positions. Quarterback on a rookie deal equals more money to spend. You're right. More money to spend if your quarterback isn't on a big-time deal. Though DC's really only making $19 million this season, so it's not crazy amounts of money. I do think, though, you're going to see the Raiders move on from Carr and go with a younger quarterback. Let's go to Eric Mitchell. Will Levis is the only QB I would want to draft. If I was close to Will Levis, I actually would tell Levis to go back to college. I think he needs another year to mature. I wouldn't want Levis to be our starting quarterback. I would want Levis to learn behind someone, whether that is Derek Carr in a cheaper contract, whether that's a Jimmy Garoppolo, whether you bring in a free agent QB. To me, Will Levis is not ready to start in the NFL right away. Let's go to Abra. Any update on Magic Johnson buying some stake in the Raiders? Legend from my favorite basketball movie. Unfortunately, no updates on that. I hope that Mark Davis just says, hey, Magic, do you want to run this thing? And hopefully Magic says yes. Let's go to MD. MD, thank you for supporting the Raiders report. I think he said in 2. Double MDs. Next guy coming in here is Fat Bearded Dad. If we take another L and McDaniels isn't fired, I'm officially done with this team this season. I would love to see them fire McDaniels and hire Woodson as an intern. I mean, that'd be kind of funny because you would lose to Jeff Saturday, a former player who has no coaching experience, and then you would hire Woodson. Woodson, though, personally, I don't think he would want to do it. He's just too focused on his wine and whiskey business that he's got going on right now. And on top of that, I hope that you're kidding because I get how frustrated the season is, but to me, you still got to watch every single game because people who watch every game, then in the offseason, we can have real-life conversations of who needs to stay, who needs to go, all that type of stuff. If the Raiders lose to the Colts, though, with whoever the hell they put at quarterback, likely no Jonathan Taylor, and then an interim head coach who's not even on the team 3 days ago, and an OC who's 30 years old and has never called a single play in the NFL, McDaniels deserves to be fired. And I'm going to say it. I know what all the reports said, that Mark Davis said that McDaniels' job is safe. I'm calling BS. If you lose to the Colts, there's a part of me that really, truly believes that the Raiders fire McDaniels because I was told Mark Davis is very frustrated on some of the money that he spent this offseason, and he's not getting a return on his investment. That's what I was told. Now, I would never want you guys to miss anything. So get the latest going on around the Raiders all season long, 24/7, 365. We got you covered. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications because if the Raiders do something, especially if it's big enough news, we're going to be going live. Will you stop? All right, Austin. As a Ravens fan, I said $400 million over 6 years with $275 guaranteed, so I completely agree with you on your opinion to get Lamar. My opinion on Lamar was $250 million guaranteed dollars, but that was actually over 5 years. If I was going to offer Lamar Jackson a 6-year contract, I would give him $300 million fully guaranteed. Let's go to John Keith. It was nothing against you, Chugs. I just hate the Astros. F the Stros. F the Stros. Let's go to Aggie. It's a great answer, though, John. So if Lamar ends up a Raider but McDummy is head coach, what's the odds that he ruins Lamar and tries to change his style of play to fit his scheme? I hope that you wouldn't be dumb enough to do that. I hope that you would be smart enough to realize that Lamar Jackson isn't like any quarterback you've ever had before. It would make me a little nervous because the worst season McDaniels ever had was with a mobile quarterback in Cam Newton. Here's the thing, though. Cam Newton looked like an NFL MVP, his first 4 weeks. And then NFL defenses realized what they were doing, and Cam wasn't good enough to keep up. What if Lamar is good enough? What if Lamar is literally good enough to run McDaniels' system? Because I think the one thing that this system needs is somebody who can take a little bit of lead, and Carr has missed a lot of throws. I mean, he has. We have to be able to face the facts. He's missed a lot. But I also really, really hope if you go out and get Lamar Jackson, you pay him that much money, your system does not stay the exact same. There's no way it can stay the exact same. If you try to run the exact same system that you do with Derek Carr and Lamar Jackson, you don't deserve to be an NFL head coach. Let's go to Hellcat Q. Hellcat Q. Everybody spam Hellcat Q69 in the chat. What up, Hellcat? You think we sign anyone? If so, who? who would you want? Right now, if I was the Raiders in free agency, I would look at linebacker because Divine Diablo, he's on IR. He's going to miss at least the next 4 weeks. If I was the Raiders, I'd say, hey, Donta Hightower, what's cracking, lacking? I'd say, hey, Jamie Collins. Or no, I think Collins actually been signed. I would look for somebody who I could put on my team. Maybe a Landon Collins could be another name to keep in mind. Somebody that's been able to run in Patrick Graham systems before. Let's go to Hector. Raiders have the number 3 overall pick right now. Who would you pick? Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson. I actually think it's very easy to be the number 3 pick. Whoever's left, that's who I would take because Will Anderson to me reminds me of Von Miller in terms of just being a pure edge rusher at linebacker. And then your top 2 quarterbacks to me, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. So with that being said, shout out to Chugs. Who would you pick? Bryce Young type BY, C.J. Stroud type CS, Will Anderson WA, or would you go with somebody completely different that I did not list? Who would you pick at number 3 overall if you were the Raiders? Let's go to Brian Shoemaker. Gruden head coach and Chugs the O-line. Not a Trump guy, so I'll say no to that. Let's go to John Keith. I don't know how McDaniels hasn't been fired yet, especially after the Colts dropped their coach. It's because Mark Davis is just too proud and doesn't want to swallow his pride and say, hey, I was wrong. They're trying to sit up here and say that they're looking at it long-term. They're looking at the long-term picture. My thing would be this, though. If it's been this big of a disaster now, what makes you think there's going to be some drastic improvement? Even if it improves a little bit, it's still a disaster. Let's go to Huts, LA 88. Raiders defense has been this team's problem for 20-plus years. The Raiders defense has been the Achilles heel, and I don't think that anybody would disagree with you in saying that. You're not wrong. But also the defense has been a problem. The quarterback position has been a problem. The Raiders haven't had a good quarterback since Derek's been good, but Derek hasn't won anything, so you really have nothing to lose by moving on from D.C. You haven't had a good quarterback since what, Rich Gannon? Like, realistically, Rich Gannon? Probably your last good quarterback? You could say not having a QB is right up there with having as bad of a defense as what they've had because, like I've seen over the past 2 seasons, people are going to point the finger at the Raiders' defense. The Raiders' offense last season was so bad at the end of the year that it put a lot more pressure on the defense. Early on this season even, the Raiders' offense, when it hasn't been able to move the football, the defense has struggled. Quarterback's been a problem too, man. But defense has been the Achilles heel. So, guys, we're doing a giveaway here on the Raiders Report. All you got to do is go to that link that you guys see down there below. It's called chatsports.com/Valley Brothers. So, my cousin, his name is Andrew. He owns this Facebook group where they sell autographed helmets. And if you guys give them a follow on Facebook right now, you have the opportunity to win the Josh Jacobs signed helmet that is pictured on screen. It is an official Raiders helmet signed by Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. So here are your steps. All you got to do, follow Valley Brothers Collectibles on Facebook. The link is down there below. You can comment on the Jacobs post. I've been told that that's going to help out your chances to win. And got to be subbed to the Raiders Report. Jeremy and I are going to announce the winner on Sunday during our live watch party. Probably going to be right around the end of the third quarter, entering the fourth. For a chance to win a signed Josh Jacobs helmet, all you got to do, go give them a follow. chatsports.com/Valley Brothers. Another super chat coming in here from Christopher Leonard. Is Robert Gallery available? Robert Gallery, I have no idea. No idea. I was going to say, I don't know who Robert Gallery even is. Christopher, cheers. Aaron Sosa, re-signed Josh Jacobs. See, if I'm Jacobs, I'm either going to want a brand new deal, so an extension, or I wouldn't want this if I was Jacobs, but the franchise tag. Because the Raiders, I think the only way you're going to get him back is if you franchise tag him. You could let him hit free agency. You could let him test the open market like Waters. If the Raiders keep struggling and Jacobs' numbers go down, then, maybe he's not worth as much. If you want to guarantee him back on the Raiders, though, you got to franchise tag him. That's going to cost you about $12.7 million. This next one is coming in from Millie. OBJ cleared his physical. Should we try to get him? I've heard enough OBJ talk. I live down here in Dallas, and when you get a guy like, what's his name? Cowboys owner Jerry Jones talking about OBJ. I already hear it enough. I have always said, though, I don't really believe that the Raiders need OBJ. I changed my answer on that. If Odell Beckham Jr. wanted to come to the Raiders to spark this Raiders passing game, I would do it. The Raiders passing game right now might be one of the biggest letdowns in all of the NFL in terms of what the expectation was compared to what you're getting. So if OBJ wanted to come to Las Vegas, hell yeah, man. We'd take him in a freaking heartbeat. Robert Gallery used to play guard for the Raiders. So, again, that's me not knowing an old offensive lineman in the early 2000s. That's on me. So should the Raiders sign Odell Beckham? Type OBJ for yes or type no BJ for no. Depending on what it costs, my answer is yes. If you think that Beckham can re-spark your offense, your passing game, I say you do it. You got nothing to lose. You're 2-6. You have nothing to frickin' lose. Next one coming in here from Scoomy_homie. Should have kept Ngakoue F. Chandler Jones. We got Rock Ya-Sin. I don't know why people don't like Rock Ya-Sin. Rock Ya-Sin, I'll still take Rock Ya-Sin over Yannick Ngakoue in terms of how they played and the overall fit of the defense. Yeah, Chandler Jones has been a major disappointment. He really has been. Ngakoue, to me, would not have been a good fit with what the Raiders are trying to do. He would not have been. He's not good against the run. He might even be worse against the run than Chandler Jones. But you were able to get Rock at corner. Imagine not having Rock Ya-Sin at cornerback right now. It'd be arguably the worst cornerback room in the NFL without Nate Hobbs. So I get it, but I still think the Raiders did the right thing in that trade. Let's go to Alvin G818. Trade for Sean McVay. Rams are never going to do that, so we might as well. How much? I mean, if it costs 2 first-rounders and like 2 second-rounders for Gruden back in 2000, if I'm the Rams, I'd say give me 5 first-round picks for Sean McVay. The other issue is this. The Rams don't value first-round picks. Oh, no. Let's go to Juice89. Lamar with Sean Payton, we winning multiple Super Bowls. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. Sean Payton won a Super Bowl, I believe, back in 2009. He's got a career record of like 152-80. One of the best head coaches. He's not a head coach right now. And then you had an MVP in Lamar Jackson. Yeah, you're winning multiple Super Bowls. At least that would be the goal. Corville in 360. Will Sidney Jones start this week against the Colts? I'm going to say yes. If I'm the Raiders, there's not a chance in hell I let Anthony Averett get back out there on the football field because he's been absolutely disgraceful. So, actually, on that note, perfect. Shout out to Jeremy. Show the Raiders bench Anthony Averett. Type B for bench, type S for start. You got to bench him. Or you can throw in more mixtures, sounds weird saying that, of Sam Webb. Sam Webb deserves more playing time. Maybe Nicole Roby-Coleman deserves a little bit more time. All I know is this, the recipe of Anthony Averett out there, it ain't working. Anthony Averett is giving me major Damon Arnett vibes. Let's go to John Keith. OBJ would be nice if a deal could be under the salary cap, but the Chiefs have been cutting salary cap recently. Something to look out for. I mean, the Raiders right now have more money, I believe, in salary cap than the Chiefs, and even if Raiders are going to be somewhere around like over $9 million, Beckham's not going to get over $9 million. I mean, there's only half a season left, nine weeks. If Beckham gets $3 million, I'll be surprised. Raiders have the money to do it if they want to. Hector, Lamar is great, but he's very high risk for injury. The way he runs the ball, he could be in worse situation if that happens. I say put the money into the defense. Every player is injury prone. I mean, Derek doesn't run the football. He's got back issues this year. He's been hurt in the past or he's battled through injuries. Yeah, Lamar's going to be injury prone, but you know what? He's a top 5 NFL quarterback. If you got an opportunity to get a top 5 quarterback that's as dynamic as Lamar Jackson, and you say no to that just because of the potential risk for an injury, that's not great. Also, though, Lamar's a good thrower. Lamar can throw a football, it's going to hurt your all's feelings, better than Derek Carr. If you told Lamar Jackson that he is never allowed to run again, he's still a better passer than Derek Carr. That's how much better I think Lamar Jackson is than DC right now. Let's go to Isaac. Since Ziegler wants picks so bad, trade Josh McDummy. I would take a bowl of soup right now over Josh McDaniels. Now, guys, remember, you can always interact with me on social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'm at MitchellRenz365. And if you want even more exclusive content, You can hit me up on Locals, RaidersReport.locals.com. 1 live video, 2 exclusive videos every single week is how you can interact with me. Now, also, if you can't join our live shows because maybe you're working, maybe you're busy, you can also send in Super Thanks. Super Thanks is basically like a Super Chat, though it's on a video that's not live. Right underneath it, there's a big heart with a dollar symbol. We'll give you shout-outs here on the Raiders Report for Super Thanks. DC holds the ball too long. Shout out to Craig. I try not to knock him, but he isn't mobile enough. When a play is breaking down, he tries to force it. Carr's pocket awareness might be some of the worst I've seen this season. Also, his inability to be able to roll out to his right or left. NFL teams know that he's only going to be able to step up into the pocket, and teams plan for that. That makes it a lot more difficult on your offensive line to be able to block. So, Craig, way too long for DC holding the ball. Ty, hey, Mitch, check out the presser for DC. I did watch it. I appreciate it. I know what those guys say, but my personal opinion is this. Pressers, it's just coaches talking a bunch of BS, and it's players talking a bunch of BS as well. It's why I get frustrated when I watch it. Let's go to Eduardo Haro, who was one of our MVPs on Sunday, popped up out of nowhere. Eduardo, cheers to you, bro. Thanks. Love you, bro. It's Monday, Sundays, so I was tuning in and out, and it was heartbreaking. Yeah, Sunday and Monday, they were tough days. Hell, I'm still hurting from that Sunday loss. Let's go to Dirty Max Blake. Mitch, is there somewhere I can bet the over-under on how many times McClown says you know in a press conference? Unfortunately, I don't think that's it. I was going to comment today on the live show that the Raiders were doing, and I'm trying to think of the word execute. I was like, are they going to say execute over or under 100 times? Because that right now is the Raiders' favorite word on press conferences. Execute. Execute. Let's go to Ken Dab 1. Thanks, Ken Dab. Thanks. You know, and if you know where to find the best Raiders content, hey guys, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. The link is down there below. We are the Raiders Report. We appreciate you guys, and we're always doing our best to keep you up to date. All right, Raider fans, Lavallee Tallier just got access to McDaniels' email, searching for the keyword Goodell, only found his plan to make A.J. Cole the league MVP. Wish me luck. I mean, imagine that plan. What would a punter have to do to win NFL MVP? I was going to say, Jeremy just said throw touchdowns. He's right. Or kick touchdowns. I don't know if that's possible. Kicking touchdowns. So today is National Cappuccino Day. And I want to know, do you like coffee? Yes or no?
You like coffee?
I love coffee.
You love coffee?
I drink a lot of coffee.
Fun fact, our desk mate Tyler keeps the same coffee on his desk every single day.
That just sounds like...
Doesn't wash the cup either.
Sounds like a fact.
It's stained.
I try not to drink too much coffee because I do take a lot of Panda Supps products at times to wake me up. I mean, coffee ice cream, coffee flavored anything.
I like coffee, but I don't drink it a ton because the only way I like it is whenever it's bad for you. It has to be just jacked up with sugar.
That's fair.
Like, give me like a caramel latte, whatever, Starbucks, whatever drink with a bunch of caramel or chocolate in it. And then at that point, it's like, I might as well just, I've been on this energy drink, 0 calories, a lot better. Oh, Brandon. Yes.
I mean, I think it depends. In the morning, the less sweet the coffee is, the better, because in the morning, I want my coffee to get my day jump started. Then usually I have a coffee before like noon, and then I'll have another one around like 3. The only time I like sweet coffee, though, is right before I go to bed. I usually have a cup of coffee.
That's probably the worst time to have coffee. Right before you go to bed?
I have a cup of coffee every single night. I don't know. I love coffee.
Why?
I love the taste of coffee. It doesn't really, at that point, though, I feel like I've had so much caffeine in my body that it doesn't make me
Mitch does make a mean espresso martini.
I do. Alex's favorite drink is an espresso martini, so one day I learned how to make her favorite one. So if you guys ever need a bartender for espresso martinis, y'all know where to find me.
Catch Mitch in his Hellcat jersey doing a Raider wedding just behind the bars.
If you saw some guy going like this in a 69 jersey, what would you think? Let's go to Brandon Jasper. If you're locals, shout out for great content, personal interaction, and weekly pick'ems. Shout out to Brandon Jasper, one of the OGs around here, man.
It's true.
You know what? On that note, because Brandon is a GOAT, and Brandon, I know you love Shot Clock.
Oh, no.
We're gonna play a game here. You guys ready for a game? We're gonna play Shot Clock. But it's going to be during our Fire Josh McDaniels segment. So, Brandon, I'm going to do this for you, okay? I'm going to do this for you.
Every $10.
Every $10 super chat that comes in right now here on the Raiders Report, until I finish my Josh McDaniels replacement segment, is going to be a shot of Fireball. You ready? I hope you're ready.
I'm already a little loose. I've been taking a couple shots.
I mean, we might have to switch up your nickname to Jeremy Loose. Loose Jeremy.
John, I don't trust you. You've hurt me before.
John Keith, Chugs, I promise not to get you.
We'll see. Shot clock's about to start. We're about to start this Josh McDaniels replacements if fired. Mm-hmm. He's not fired yet.
Not fired yet, but if the Raiders lose to the Colts, I'm not shitting you. I think there's a good chance, man. I really do. I think there's a good chance. So we're going to be popping open some Fire McDaniels shots here. Every $10 super chat that comes in. Soon as the show for McDaniels starts.
Brandon Jasper, don't go anywhere. We're doing a shot clock. Don't want you to miss it. I know you're going to be like, oh, I was in the restroom.
Brandon's going to come back 15 minutes later like, have you guys done shot clock yet?
He's like, oh, I had to go rake the leaves in my front yard. What did I miss?
Oh, man. That's not where I thought you were going to say, I'm going to be honest. So, you could have gone a lot of ways. Raking leaves. It's one thing I don't miss.
It's fall.
Oh, I know. I used to have to rake so many leaves when I was a kid. I bought these. Well, my dad bought these giant blue tarps, something you would cover a pool with. And we would fill them with leaves and then drag them. There's our first one from YD. Drag them to the other side of the yard. I did that every day for about 2 months straight. Mm-hmm. My dad was crazy about the yard, though. I had to cut the grass 3 times a week. It would take me 4 hours a pop. Push mower.
Oh, I had a push mower. I know about that. Did yours have at least – mine had the wheels on the back that were like
no.
You pushed it down and it helped you.
No, we gave that one to my grandma because my grandmother, she needed it the older she got, so no. I didn't get that. Which
God.
I'll say this, though. I give my dad a lot of credit for that because I do think that taught me, like that was like my first real job. 10 years old, my dad was like, yo, that's your job, taking care of the yard. I took that shit to heart, and I remember the one day he ripped me a new a-hole when I did not do it. So,
whoa. Dad,
love you. Shout out to you. I know, now I'm loose.
We got
All right, here we go.
We got one shot from YD. Just a reminder, every $10 super chat that comes in during this segment is a shot of Fireball for me or Mitch.
It's going to be interesting.
Brandon Jasper, I hope you're here. If not, it's another shot clock that you're not a part of.
Brandon, much love to you, bro. All right, guys, coming up right now, we're going to get into our Josh McDaniels replacements if he's fired segment on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, we're going to do Josh McDaniels replacements if he's fired. Today's show is presented by our good friends Panda Supps, owned by a Raiders fan, and he wants you to make sure that you guys are just staying healthier. So use code GETHEALTHY for 25% off, and you get a free shaker at pandasupps.com. Now, the key word in here is if. If fired, Josh McDaniels replacement. So what you're going to see here are my top 10 candidates. I have them ranked from 10 all the way down to 1. We also have some interim head coaches if the Raiders fire McDaniels in the middle of the season. And then even on top of that, some honorable mentions. So I think we can all agree, McDaniels has been a shit show so far. He's 13-23 as a head coach in the NFL. Las Vegas has blown 3 leads of at least 17 points. And the Raiders just haven't played with any heart this season. Or they don't want to play for McDaniels. Both of those are not great. On top of all of that, you can look at all of the numbers that indicate to you how bad that this season really, truly has been. From a not preparing standpoint, from a choking standpoint coming out of halftime. I mean, think about all the 17-point leads that the Raiders have blown this season. It's been an absolute joke. And I anticipate most people watching right now would love for the Raiders to fire McDaniels. So I'm going to look at all of you right now, and I'm going to beg you. Like the video if you want the Raiders to fire McDaniels. I'm hoping this thing gets 10,000 likes. I plan on sending this to the Raiders, whether it's via mail, whether it's email, whether it's just tweeting it at them. I want the Raiders to know that we deserve better, and McDaniels has got to get the hell out of here. I mean, this graphic alone makes me want to throw up. The fact that the Raiders lost all 3 of these games is sickening. I'll give you a pass on the Chiefs because they're the Chiefs, but there is no excuse with this much talent on a roster to blow this many 17-point leads. I mean, from 1960 to 2021, the Raiders blew 5 17-point leads. The Raiders have already blown 3 this season, and you still got 9 games to go. That's insane to me. That's an absolute disgrace. This man is a fraud, and the sooner Mark Davis realizes that, the sooner the Raiders are going to be better off and going in the right direction. But I already know some people are going to click on this video right now and like, Mitch, do you not follow the news? The Raiders already said that they're not going to fire McDaniels. I don't care. My job here is I never wanted McDaniels to be a head coach. I love this team. I know Raider Nation is the best damn fans in all of sports, and they deserve better. And my job is to try to get that out there. And I want the Raiders to hear us because one person can't do it. I can't do it alone. But when all of us rally together, we can create a voice for ourselves. I tweeted this out. Only 3 teams in NFL history have lost 3 games in a season that they led by 17 or more points. The 2020 Chargers fired Anthony Lynn. 2003 Falcons fired Dan Reeves. I mean, Raiders, Mark Davis, are you watching? Are you listening? I sure do hope so. But you know what? Josina Anderson, she tweeted this out, okay? League sources on the status of the Raiders, Josh McDaniels is safe. Don't believe the crowd noise. Everyone is disappointed, but no one is panicking. You see this right here? We all feel we have a good team. We just have to finish games better. That's not a league source. That's somebody in the Raiders locker room. That's somebody on the Raiders. Now, I did some digging, and one of my people told me that they believe the person that talked to Josina Anderson was Dave Ziegler, Raiders general manager. I heard Dave Ziegler say last week at 2-5 that he was proud or pleased with the job Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr have done. Personally, I'm calling bullshit. I don't believe anything right now that comes out of anybody's mouth, that comes out of anything from the Raiders front office right now, because they're all talking out of their ass. So I understand what Josina tweeted out. And maybe somebody did actually tell Josina what she tweeted. But it's bullshit. I don't believe it. If the Raiders lose to the Colts this week with an interim head coach, with Jeff Saturday, with somebody who's never called plays in their entire career, some 30-year-old whose name is escaping me right now, with arguably a third-string quarterback, whether it's Sam Ellinger, injured Matt Ryan, no Jonathan Taylor, the Raiders will then have to fire McDaniels. You have to. There's no more excuses at that standpoint. And I was told that the chances of them firing McDaniels if they lose to the Colts is actually a lot more of a real possibility than what people want to think. So, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because if the Raiders do it, I'm going to be here. And oh my freaking Lord, if the Raiders fire McDaniels, that might be my show where I'm live for 24 straight hours partying. I don't care if I'm here by myself. I'll do this whole thing by myself. I don't care. That's how much I'll celebrate. So coming up right now, we're about to get into our top 10 list for the Raiders coaching candidates. This is all based in 2023 if the Raiders fire McDaniels. But before we get to 2023, obviously if you move on from McDaniels, you got to find an interim head coach. So the interim head coach would be more than likely hired from within. So what I figured I would do here, guys, is give you my top 5 options for interim head coach. Number 1 is Carmen Bracillo. Number 2, I threw in there as a Patrick Graham guy. Graham has struggled a little bit here and there. Number 3, 4, and 5, Mick Lombardi could be there. Antonio Pierce absolutely is another name to keep in mind. And realistically, those are probably the only 4. And then number 5 I'll throw in there is Edgar Bennett on top of that, for the simple fact of he has 30 years of coaching experience. Do I really want any of those guys right now? I don't really know how I feel about the interim head coach. But the reason why y'all clicked on this video is because of the top 10 list in terms of who I would want to be the Raiders head coach next season if the Raiders fired Josh McDaniels. So let's get into it now. Number 10 on my list here it's going to be offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills, Ken Dorsey. He was an NFL coach from 2003 to 2008, and personally, I think Dorsey has done a pretty good job with Josh Allen this year. Cam Newton also on top of that, and he's been coaching in the NFL since 2013. I wouldn't mind an offensive-minded coach. I also like the idea of somebody who's been able to work in different schemes before. So Ken Dorsey comes in on my list at number 10. At number 9 on my list, it's Byron Leftwich, who I actually think his stock has dropped a little bit because of the struggles of what Tampa Bay has been dealing with this season. Leftwich basically had the Jags head coaching job last season, decided he didn't want to work for Trent Baalke, and he's like, all right, man, I'm out. He's worked with Tom Brady for 2 years. What if Leftwich brought Brady over next season? Something to think about. Also, he played in the NFL from 2003 to 2012. Byron Leftwich is an aggressive, offensive-minded coach, which is what I think a lot more NFL teams really, truly need. So when you think about jobs, okay, I want you to grade it, because grading a job is based on players. It's based on location. It's based on how much money you would get. So grade the Raiders head coaching job for me. A, B, C, D, or F. I personally believe the Raiders, with their fan base, with them moving to Vegas, it's an A grade. It is an A job. So for a lot of coaches out there, they would jump at this opportunity. Let's go to number 8 here on my list. It's Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He started as an offensive assistant for Louisville back in 2010. Steve's coached both sides of the football at the NFL level, which I always like, especially in a head coach. And he's done a great job this season with Jalen Hurts. Hurts has grown massively in terms of a coach. I will say I'm going to tip my cap more to Nick Sirianni, but Steichen has been able to learn underneath Sirianni. And I look at what Philadelphia has done with that offense, and instead of them trying to force Jalen Hurts into their offense, they're building their offense around Hurts. And I hope that if Steichen was hired as the Raiders head coach, that's what you would get. Number 7, and I might have this guy too low. The more and more I watch Shane Waldron, the more and more I think that this could be the next Kevin O'Connell, could be the next Mike McDaniel, the next Sean McVay. He has had a very impressive coaching tree under guys like Bill Belichick, underneath Sean McVay. He's worked underneath Pete Carroll, and he's doing wonders right now with Geno Smith. He's been coaching in the NFL since 2008, and here's one of these younger-minded coaches that just brings some fun to your offense. And the fact that you look at the amount of success that Seattle has had this season, Waldron deserves a lot, and I mean a lot of credit for that offense. Now, before we get into our top 6 coaching candidates, if the Raiders have the balls to fire McDaniels, today's show is presented by Panda Supps. And if you use code GETHEALTHY, you're going to be able to save 25% off, and you're going to get a free shaker at pandasupps.com. Now, the only way you're going to get the deal is if you get the greens, and the greens are a great way to make sure that you're staying healthy, because let's face it, it's hard to get greens in your diet every day. I take a scoop of greens every morning. There's also some caffeine in there, and this is what the shaker bottle looks like, which you are going to get for free. So if you are trying to stay healthy, because, I don't know, guys like Daniel Jimenez, John Keith, and frickin' Ace Boy and Trivan are making you drink all the time on the Raiders Sport, then hey, get some greens in you. Scan that QR code right now with your phone for 25% off for a free shaker, pandasupps.com. Number 6 on my list coming in here is offensive coordinator for the New York Giants, Mike Kafka. Kafka's been coaching since 2016. He's done a good job this season with Daniel Jones, and he's been playing in the NFL since 2010 to 2015. Last year, the number 1 candidate that I wanted the Raiders to hire, his name, Brian Daboll, and he's doing wonders for the New York Giants. These are, I think, one of the biggest reasons why they are the way they are. And the fact that Kafka learned underneath Andy Reid, that's a positive. And now he's also learning underneath Brian Daboll. Kafka's another coach that I don't think quite people realize how good he has the opportunity to be. Number 5 on the list is going to be a familiar face, and I don't know exactly if he has all of the mindset or offensive playing ability that some of these other guys do, but I know this. Rich Bisaccia is a leader, and if you plan on trying to keep Derek Carr for one more year, Rich Bisaccia might be the guy that you try to do. He took over for John Gruden last season, led the Raiders to the playoffs, and he might not be this offensive-minded guru. And I actually will say that I actually think Josh McDaniels would be a better offensive play caller than Rich Bisaccia. It's not a shot at Bisaccia, but Bisaccia is a leader of men. Bisaccia can be a head coach. He just has to hire a beautiful staff around him and let somebody else call the plays on offense, let somebody else call the plays on defense, and Bisaccia still is the head of that special teams. But he is number 5 on my list for a reason, because I don't know how likely it is. At number 4, I'm going to go with DeMeco Ryans, and I freaking love DeMeco Ryans here. I should also mention that this list is a mix of my rankings and how much I like coaches combined with who I think Mark Davis would try to hire. DeMeco Ryans was interviewed last year, and he's a great young defensive-minded coach, and a lot of Shanahan coordinators have been solid. He played in the NFL from 2006 to 2015, and a great linebacker. I think Dave Ziegler, if you move on from Josh McDaniels, you're going to see Dave Ziegler try to take a page out of what New England did, or technically what Tennessee did, and hiring a linebacker in Mike Vrabel. DeMeco Ryans gives me Mike Vrabel vibes, where people are going to just rally around him. And you've tried to go offensive mind. Like, let's face it, Gruden, offensive mind. I like offensive mindedness, don't get me wrong. But there's a part of me where you're like, all right, if the Raiders' defense has been so bad for 20 years, and we've talked about how bad the Raiders' defense has been in the Achilles heel, maybe that's where you decide to go. Look at Robert's Law right now with the Jets. They just beat the friggin' Buffalo Bills. Defensive-minded coach, the guy I would look at is DeMeco Ryans. Now, some guys who didn't quite make my top 10 list, but I had to throw them in here as honorable mentions. I'm going to throw in Leslie Frazier, Raheem Morris. Eric Bieniemy is a name in here, though I don't think the Raiders would hire him because of his past. Irayo Ivero, Gerard Mayo, Jack Del Rio, Kellen Moore, and Dan Quinn. All honorable mentions. Now, I still got to get into my top 3 list here for my Raiders head coaching candidates if McDaniels is fired. Friendly reminder, you guys can find me literally anywhere at Mitchell Renz 365. And if you're a diehard Raider fan looking for even more exclusive content, RaidersReport.locals.com. Hit me up. I personally think you guys would have a lot of fun over there. Number 3, this is the guy who I thought was going to be the Raiders head coach. It's Jim Harbaugh, head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. And I get it. He's with Michigan. He's got a deal there. But you know what? Him and Mark Davis are good friends. Harbaugh worked with the Raiders back in like 2000. A lot of the staffers inside of that Raiders organization, they wanted the Raiders to hire Harbaugh. All the beat reporters out there were saying it was Harbaugh's job to lose, and at Dodds, Mark Davis decided to go a totally different route and hire Josh McDaniels. And Harbaugh's done it in the NFL. He's done it in college. He deserves to be on this list, even if it might not be all that realistic. Number 2, it's Brian Flores. And the reason why Flores is so high up on my list is because of his connection with Dave Ziegler. If you want to keep Dave Ziegler, but you want to get rid of McDaniels, this is the guy that you hire if you're Mark Davis. He has a good head coaching record. I don't care what anyone says, but Mitch, he's 24-25. The Miami Dolphins were the biggest laughingstock in the NFL before Flores took over, and I think he's done a really good job. Yes, Mike McDaniel has done good, but look how much talent that team has right now, and Tua is finally healthy. He was fired for no reason, in my personal opinion, down in Miami. Brian Flores deserves to be a head coach in the NFL. It's why he's number 2 on my list. But here's the thing. There was a clear-cut number 1, and it's really not all that close to me, and it shouldn't be close to anybody else. It's Sean Payton, former head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Here's the guy that you bring in, Mark. Here's the guy that you offer a boatload of money to, because he did technically retire from coaching in 2021, but Sean Payton was just on Monday Night Football this week and said that he wants to coach, and he wouldn't mind coaching in a year or 2 years from now. He's going to be the top candidate for every team. The Saints do still own his rights, so you would technically have to make a trade for him. A career coaching record of 152-89. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's an offensive-minded coach. He would come into this team immediately and offer respect from every single person on that team. And if you want to find a quarterback, Sean Payton can do it. Sean Payton turned the New Orleans Saints after Hurricane Katrina into an absolute disaster, into a winning football franchise. The Raiders, after this season, are going to be a disaster. He can turn it around. This is the guy you should hire if you fire McDaniels. So who's going to be the Raiders head coach next year? Is it going to be McDaniels, or do you think it's going to be somebody else? Type JM for McDaniels, type O for other. I can't wait to see what you guys have to say. So McDaniels replacements ranked from 1 to 10 here. I got Sean Payton at 1, Brian Flores at 2, Jim Harbaugh at 3, DeMeco Ryans 4, Rich Bisaccia at 5, Mike Kafka 6, Shane Waldron 7, Shane Steichen at 8, Byron Leftwich at 9, and coming in here at number 10, it is Ken Dorsey. All right, Raider fans.
Bang! Bang!
Bang!
Bang!
All right, we got to add some people to the Boot Hall of Fame, so I'll be honest, this really backfired on me. I was thinking we'd have to do some shots. We might need a little bit of help. So every $100 that came in, I'm going to add you guys to the Boot Hall of Fame, so please be patient.
I'll go ahead and count it up for us.
All right, that'd be great.
Also, 94 away from a boot.
Yikes.
I'm just saying.
Vote for alcohol. If we lose to the Colts, I will destroy my liver on Sunday.
That's one.
Win, lose, we still booze here on the Raiders Report. That's one. PG, coffee with Fireball in the afternoons. Raiders! Daniel frickin' Jimenez.
Bang! Daniel!
Did someone say shot clock? This is the one that came in. Daniel, I know this is what you were doing. I said as soon as the cut starts, we're going to play shot clock. I literally said, Raider Nation, what's going on? And I saw the 50 pop across the screen. I was like,
6.
I was like, Daniel, you SOB. That's 6. Tri-Van.
Raiders! That's 16!
Yeah,
that's 16!
We're going to need help. I'm just going to tell you all right now. We're going to need some help. Alex's mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Hellcat Q! Bang! Drink up, Lord Mitch and Squire Chuggington. Got to drop one of the sickest jerseys ever worn on the Raiders Report. Let's get this W this Sunday, or it's over for sure. Raiders at 17. Brandon Jasper, I'm down for a shot clock. You are. That's crazy.
That's surprising.
That's 18.
That's 18.
Austin.
Shot clock, I'm down. Here's another shot.
19.
Austin, what up? That's 19. Jose Delgado. It will be painful if we lose with the Colts, but it'll be worth to get rid of this clown of a coach. I'm down. Fire McDonald's?
Kosh McDonald.
Kosh McDonald, please, Raiders, cheers.
That's 20.
20. Yikes.
Yikes.
John Borelli, fire that clown. Love your thoughts on hiring Sean Payton. Would either take him or Brian Flores. Getting Lamar would be only other realistic quarterback we can get. I'd want over Carr. Fair enough, man. And if Sean Payton wants Lamar Jackson, that's even more reason to get him.
That's 21.
21. Rusty Nail, year 1999, Patriots 8-8. Fire Pete Carroll, Ohio, or Bill Belichick, year 2000. Patriots 5-11. Bill Walsh, first year 2-11. And Itchy Trigger Finger is unwise. Our first year playoff optimism was also unwise. I'll say this. Go back and look at those teams. Did the Patriots make the playoffs in 1998? Seriously. Did those teams make the playoffs the year prior and improve? Because if you had a wash of a team, then it's totally different. But that was a playoff caliber team that McDaniels turned into 2-6. I think that's the only thing that you're missing here. And also, McDaniels has been a head coach before, and he's been a disaster before.
That's 22.
Holy tits. Daniel Jimenez!
Bang! That's 32.
Yes.
That's 32 shots on the wall.
I don't know how we're going to do this.
Ace Boy Jesso, can I have you give a shout out to my Raiderette, my kid's mother, my best friend, my last and only love. Happy belated birthday, Brittany Bernay. Wow.
Brittany Bernay, I'll tell you what. Brittany Bernay, you should definitely give him an OBJ. Nope, definitely an OBJ. Jersey. You should get him an OBJ jersey. Ace Boy Jesso, cheers, bro.
Happy birthday, Brittany.
Brittany.
That's 33.
33, yikes.
Bang! That's 38.
This is insane.
38.
Just so you all know, the show's not going to be much after this. Sorry, Mitch, but Raider Nation steps up to a challenge, unlike Raiders coaching staff. 40. We're going to have to send
38.
out
Oh, yeah, that's 40. You just
We're going
read
to have
that
to
one.
send out a siren.
40. 45. Bang!
This one's for Brandon Jasper, Daniel Jimenez, and Tri-Van. Y'all are just in-frickin' man. So what, 45? I think you might just have to send out the bat signal real quick here. It's going to be interesting. I think you literally say the exact number. Who can come and take some? If not,
And then that's 45.
Yep.
46. Jeremy Stores.
Jeremy Stores, get an interview with 24.
We also had 2 $5 super chats coming as well.
I was a trash man, and I still remember the smell, and Abram should have been pushed to linebacker. They did play him at linebacker. In fact, he actually played more at linebacker over the past few weeks. They played him at, it's called dime linebacker. He had like 40 or 60% of his snaps, I want to say 65% of his snaps at dime linebacker. So they did try to play him at linebacker. He was also bad there as well. But he's talking about the trash man smell,
Oh, yeah.
which is not great. Mondo 878K. What up, man? Josh signed all his stars to deals knowing he was going to tank to get high draft picks. Maybe we come out like the Eagles next year with a rookie quarterback. Yeah, not great. But I don't think that Josh
Thank God.
purposely tanked.
Get up there, Seeps.
I don't think that he purposely tanked.
46 shots to take.
46.
We got 46 shots to take. You ready?
Straight right now. 46 in a row.
I mean, we might finish this bottle. We'll do one for you, one for me. There's no way I'm going to do 46, but we're going to do as many as we can. Everyone shout out to Seeps. I know he's wearing a Viking shirt, but he's going to come on here and knock down some shots for us. So, all right, 44.
We're also 75 away from the boot.
75 away from a boot. That's disastrous. So we did shot clock,
So, wait.
and
count,
we ended up getting
count those shots. So, 46.
46.
How many did y'all just do? 2?
2.
44 left.
43. Man. All right, guys. It's going to be a long season, Wayne. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
God, we called in the cavalry.
I got my Raiders gear on.
How many is that? 41?
41.
41 shots.
We played
How many do we owe?
40 now.
46 we started with. We played shot clock, and they took advantage of it.
What was the price point?
$10.
$10 a shot.
Just don't know your audience at this point.
46
Different 10 pieces or like the total dollars?
in total.
Who's counting? We're
So-
at 40 total.
40,
40 total.
39, 38,
You never watched Pawn Stars?
Who?
37.
Isn't that what the show's called? Almost enough for you and Seeps.
What's Pawn Stars?
36,
You're the troll.
I never troll.
All right,
the
I
Raiders.
gotta
35.
get on screen. Hold on.
Wait, I thought we were close to done.
No, that's shot 35.
35.
I need more help. Who's got the counter?
33, 32, 31, 30. So we have 30 shots left after you take that, Mitch.
All right, so warm me up.
Gotta get it on the screen, Tom.
Pour me, pour me.
All right, 29.
29.
We already counted that.
That's tequila.
A second one.
Okay,
That's tequila.
28.
Weird.
I put your shot class, by the way.
How many men can we fit in a small space?
Hold on, you gotta get Jeremy to count it.
27, 26.
Well, there's a 75.
Oh, that's for me.
And-
That's for me.
Buddy Bear!
Buddy Bear!
That's
All
the,
right,
Count
26,
this one.
25, 24, 23.
Holding this.
I wore the Buddy
22.
Bear jersey on Sunday.
22 shots left.
Didn't work.
It didn't work, unfortunately.
21,
All right, I think we need more people in here.
20.
Last one for me.
You're fine. You're okay. I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. I don't want that.
19, 18,
I'll do one more.
17. I'll do the boot.
You'll do the
16 from Harrison Graham.
All right.
How do they feel
15.
about Johnny Abram?
I think
14.
I think they're okay with the idea that Abram's gone.
I'll do one more.
Me too.
Fuck it. I'll get you. We'll get y'all down to 10, and then y'all can figure it out.
We're at 14 shots
We'll
left.
give the last 10 to Coop.
Here,
Ernie says you're not counting right.
here. No, we're counting.
13.
Ernie, I'm doing the best I can, man.
Mitch, that's 12 for you.
Seeps is sketching me out every time he pours.
Hey, these have been clean pours. This is
They have.
This is some.
11.
I don't know
I
even
just
what I'm
went
at.
6. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm tapped out. How much do we have?
10 more shots.
I'm really in a mood for tequila.
10,
You want tequila?
9.
Just keep it away from me. I don't want to smell it.
This is a Mav shirt, not a Cowboy shirt, just so you know. Dude, this bottle.
Are you tripping me down?
8.
I was almost full. I'm going to go back and watch this, how many I did. I have no idea.
That's 7.
7.
Coop 6.
Cheers. Done. I'm done. Done.
5. 5 shots left.
Raider Nation, it's election night. If you vote for me, all your wildest dreams will come true.
4 shots left after that one.
Okay.
We have 3 shots. Mitch did that. Now we have 2 shots. We have 2 boys up there. 1 shot left. Jonesy!
Take that
Hey-oh!
tequila away from me.
Get it away from
Get
me.
it away from me.
Wait. Y'all want to get in on this real quick?
What are we doing? Buddy Bear.
Oh, Buddy Bear!
Oh, man.
See it.
Well, you're in the way.
Oh, wait. Wait, I didn't go. There we go.
I'll get out of the
What
way.
did you say?
It's
At
your
least I caught the end of the show.
Buddy Bear boot time. Here we go.
And then we also got 2 other super chats. Oh, no, we got 4 other super chats. John Keith, I told you I wouldn't get you chugs. You didn't. Wayne Hauser, it's going to be a long season.
All right, guys.
L.I. Raider, just sending love, brother. Raiders!
Thank you so much for your help.
Jeremy Stores, get Abrams on the phone.
Holy tits.
Ooh. All right, Mitch. I'm going to go fill up the boot.
Yeah, you go fill up that
I'm going to
boot.
do that.
Oh, man. That hurt. I don't even know what I just did. Y'all are crazy. I don't even know why I even think that you guys aren't going to step up to a challenge like that, and you guys just kick my ass. I'm going to be gone in a few minutes here. So, ooh, yeah, we are going to auction off the boot. So the boot, actually, we got 2 more toe spots to go. 2 more toe spots to go in our boot, and then we're going to auction off this piece to a lucky winner. On Thursday for Thursday Night Football. That's right. That's right, man. All right, who's going to be the Raiders head coach next year? McDaniels, or is it going to be somebody else? Ass Master says, Lord Mitch. Wayne Hauser, you a real one, bro. YO Raider. I am an organ donor, just so you know. I am an organ donor. I'm not a big Oregon Ducks fan, but I am an organ donor. So, Rusty T said it's going to be Josh, which I'm telling you what, if the Raiders lose to the Colts this week, I don't know. I don't know. MD, Chuck the Pup for head coach. That's right, man. That's the route that I want. Oh, man. 720 Denver. What's up, 720 Denver? You got a lot of hate in your heart, man. You got a lot of hate in your heart. Sean Payton from Cornelius, I see you. Rusty T says Pep Mark Davis, or per Mark Davis, excuse me. I thought you meant like Pep Hamilton. I've talked about Pep Hamilton before, but that'd be more of like if Jim Harbaugh was hired and then Pep Hamilton could be hired as the OC. Interesting. All right. Paul says the Ryans. Kellen Moore from Chadwick. A lot of others though still flowing in here. What do you got for me? Okay. Okay. What do you think, guys? Should we loop it? You guys want to loop the loop? I don't know. I'd say just end it. Yeah, I'd say we just end it. All right, guys, this is what's going to happen. Jeremy's going to knock down a boot. I'm going to go grab some pizza because that shot clock is just doing me in right now. But, hey, here's the thing, y'all. Ernie Bueno said Mitch's liver is trying to tap out right now. My body hurts. My body hurts. Yeah, the Jim Otto jersey. Shout out to Raider Ron for sending us the The jersey, I don't know what that is. It looks like Jonesy got bored. Colored the wall.
Gonna have to clean that up.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right, you can pick it up. Pick up the boot. Here we go. Chug's gonna knock. What is it? Bud Light, Budweiser, Miller Lite. What do we got out there? It's Cords. Oh, Jesus. Cords. Got a lot of cords mixed up in there. A lot of cords. SG Sports Talk channel says, hi, Jeremy.
What's up, SG?
All right, guys, give Chugs a shout-out here.
All right, I'm feeling it.
Yeah? You're going to try to break the record?
Feeling it.
All right. If you can go sub 5, I'll do a boot.
Woo! Chugs. Woo!
I can't. What am I doing? Stopwatch. I
Stopwatch.
was like, why am I setting an alarm right now? All right, here we go. You ready? Yo.
In the Jim Otto boot.
Chugs is the boot god. You should change your name to Boot God. Jeremy Chugs, a.k.a. Boot God.
Boot God's my rap name.
That makes sense.
Boot God on the beat.
Ready? My rap name, Little Black Hole.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Little Black Hole. All right, we'll go with that.
All right, y'all ready?
Here we go. Jeremy Chugs, 3 beers, 1 boot. Oh, bro. In the 7s. Definitely in the 7s. Dude, I'll tell you what. You should enter some sort of beer chugging contest.
Dude, I want to tell James and Brett.
I'm not kidding you.
I want to be in the 4th of July lemonade chugging contest. Get me there.
I'll tell you what, man. That'd be.
I want to be in the lemonade chugging contest on 4th of July whenever they do. Because I know I have no shot in the hot dog eating contest. In the lemonade chug,
I think you could do it.
I might have a chance.
I think
I would wear my Raiders chugs jersey.
El Loco says 7-5.
I would wear my Raiders chugs jersey.
All right, here's what we're going to do.
Or a Chat Sports jersey if Brett and James want to pay for me to go.
This is what we're going to do. On Thursday, I want you to get from now until Thursday, I want you to get a gallon of lemonade. And we're going to time you on the Raiders report.
What? Can we look up the lemonade chug record? I want to see what it is.
I mean, yes, you can look it up. There's a mouse right there if you need one. And I want to see how close you are to beating the lemonade chug record. I mean, this is going to be an interesting Google search here. Y'all are watching this live. I'm sorry, but this is what you're going to get when you make us do all those shots. So, Eric Badlands Booker. So that's like the really, really big dude every year at the hot dog contest. I don't know. You're probably going to have to watch it. We'll figure it out. Do you think you could chug a whole gallon of lemonade in a minute? I think so.
Oh, shit.
What is it?
34 seconds.
34 seconds.
So, 3 beers. How many?
That's 36 ounces.
How many ounces in a?
64? Is there 64 ounces in a gallon? Somebody help me do math here.
128.
Oh
You
my.
said this is how much?
That's 36.
36.
72. Bro, that's like 4 boots in 34 seconds. I'll tell you what.
I mean, I do.
If you could
8
keep the
seconds.
pace.
If I keep the 8-second pace,
That's not an easy pace, though, to
I
keep.
would 100% throw up right after. I know that.
I'll say this, though. I think we record it. We put it on social media. We tag Nathan's and say, can we get Chugs in the contest? I mean, I think if you go sub 45, you're in. They have to. If the world record's 34 seconds, 45 has to get you in.
Dude, I don't know what a gallon of lemonade would do to my stomach, though.
I don't know.
That would.
It's probably not going to be good.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be good.
I gotta find sugar-free lemonade because I want to. I don't want to like f myself up with like 3 cups of sugar.
Fair. We could find you some lemonade. I think we try to do it on Thursday. You do the lemonade, and I'll do the chip on Thursday.
So we do have, if it's 4 boots worth,
Yeah.
we do have 4 boots. I could technically just knock down 4 boots one after the other
With lemonade.
with lemonade.
All right. I got to eat the chip, and you got to do a lemonade challenge. Thoughts?
I think I do the lemonade challenge if we reach a certain
Yeah.
goal.
Instead of the boot, we'll do lemonade.
Okay.
Thursday. For Thursday. You in?
Good try.
All right. We'll see if we can make it happen
He said
here.
A gallon is 3.5 boots from Jay Raider.
All right.
So 3.5 boots of lemonade.
36 times 3.
Dude, now that I'm thinking of it, that's 34 seconds was his record?
That's insane.
Holy crap.
It's insane.
That is
We got to get him on here to see how quick he can do a boot, and then we'll
dude,
figure it
that
out.
is fast.
Fast as F, boy. Chug's keg stand. See, we've been talking about getting a keg for a while, but we just haven't pulled the trig on that.
Also, it would be hard for us to show it.
Yeah. We'd have to get another camera. We'd have to get, like, the Craggy cam and then do it that way. Could be a possibility. All right, y'all. We got 825 people watching still. If you want some drunk analysis, all I ask right now, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat.
Now that I'm thinking, if I do keep that pace,
You'll beat it.
I beat the record.
You do. Why? Oh. Yeah, there's a rather large amount of liquid on screen. That's dry, so. Yeah. Liquid on the walls. Right here. You can't see it, but it's right there. All right, guys. SG Sports Talk channel says, I want to see Jeremy get super drunk. Let's make it happen. Buddy Bear, one of the GOATs. YO Raider, laugh out loud. I hope you're not an organ donor. I am an organ donor. And a Chugs keg stand. Kegs and egg stand. Doesn't want it. Doesn't want it. All right, y'all. You're watching. What?
Our CEO, James Yoder, is about to walk into the room.
Uh-oh.
Thoughts?
All right, hear us out.
4th of July lemonade chugging contest. Can I enter and go as the Chat Sports representative for the 4th of July lemonade chug? The record is 34 seconds. We did the math. The math. We did the math. That's 3.5 boots. So
Big mass.
My normal time is 8 seconds on the boot. So
Okay.
if I can chug 3.5 boots worth of lemonade
Yep.
in under 34 seconds, Chat Sports technically holds the record for the fastest lemonade chug.
Free agency, though. Oh, gosh. But, yeah, I'm interested in learning more. Let's do it. It'd be awesome.
I'm interested to learn more. If you'd like to learn more,
No, I mean, I have no idea. Like, you said, when I generate, I remember this a couple weeks ago, and we're like, well, don't you have to actually, like,
you have to qualify. But here's my thing. If we get him on video and he's like sub 40, they have to let him qualify.
yeah.
They have to let him qualify.
We'll look into the qualification. We'll go do it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay?
We're gonna pop up. Jeremy has tested positive for some small sample of beaver tranquilizer. Dang it, Bernice! Dang it! All right, we're gonna answer some super chats here. Cruisin' says Chugs equals flounder from Animal House. Interesting. See, do you think that's who you would be from Animal House? Flounder?
I have to.
Oh, you don't know who that is?
Yeah, I've honestly only seen Animal House once and don't remember anybody's name.
I mean, think of him as almost like Frank the Tank in.
Is that Belushi's character? No.
No.
Nice.
Dodgeball reference. Raider Ron. See, I'm a big Dodgeball fan.
Raider Ron's in the chat.
Well, that's a different Raider Ron. There's two Raider Rons. There's the all-time GOAT Raider Ron. Well, so, like, there's David Zahn, Raider Ron, Wild 114. Those are, like, the top three guys. And then, not that Raider Ron, who's in the chat right now, isn't a great one, But those are like the GOATs. Those are the GOATs. All right, y'all. Should we end today's show or should we stay live? What do you want? End today's show or should we stay live? I'll answer questions. If not, unfortunately, we do have to turn over the studio to somebody else. Unfortunately. Hellcat said, show's over. It's done. Buzz-O-Matic wants us to stay live. Dead Raider said he just got here. Stay live or
I'll put a minute on the shot clock.
Oh, boy. What do you mean kind of shot clock?
You know what I'm talking about.
Another shot clock. Are you kidding me? If we do another one, I'm going to have to go take a pee break. Oh, man. Cody Hart, drink Rams piss to chug.
Also, if there's any rap fans in here, I want to get y'all's opinion.
If you can drink Rams piss chugs, you can drink anything.
Guys, y'all want us to stay live? All right. But I got to get y'all's opinion on this.
All right.
Better rap album.
I'm hearing it.
J. Cole, The Offseason, or Drake's new album, Her Loss? Go get your votes in. I put my status in the chat. Go get your votes in. It's 50-50 right now.
See, I haven't heard either of them. However, this might be a hot take for you. I'm not that big of a J. Cole fan.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
I don't know. Like, J. Cole's music just doesn't do it for me.
Go follow me if you haven't already. But also, get your votes in because it's 50-50, and we're having a hot debate in the office because people are slandering J. Cole, and I'm just not having it.
A lot of people are saying Cole, which I would have said Drake just because I haven't really listened to either of them. But I don't know. Send me the best songs then in that J. Cole album, and I'll listen to them.
Okay.
Because I just haven't listened to any. Because I haven't heard a J. Cole song that I like. So that's why I didn't listen to the new album.
If you don't like either of them,
Dead Raider, who's J. Cole?
just go follow me on Twitter then. But if you like Drake or J. Cole,
It's kind of split.
Go vote in the poll right now.
It's kind of it. It's kind of split. Drake's last album was bad.
Pride is the Devil. That's a great song. I think you got a hold on me. Pride is the devil.
I'll have to listen to him.
It got so many R.I.P. Pride is
Blue
the
Richards,
devil.
Metallica. Madman said they both suck. Hey, that's y'all's opinion, which I think we can stick to. All right, Jugs. I got to get out of here. I got to go get some food. I got to go.
That's fair.
I got to go fill up the tank. If anything else happens around the Raiders, though, we're going to keep you guys up to date. Appreciate everyone who tuned in today. We had some breaking news around Johnathan Abram getting released. Did a lot of other random stuff here on today's show about McDaniels potentially getting fired. If he is fired, coaching candidates. Talked about an insane 5-way plan to improve the Raiders. We did a mailbag. I appreciate every single one of y'all that tuned in today, but I'm Dalvin cooked right now. Those shots, man, they did it to me, especially because I haven't eaten anything today. So, Hellcat, you a real one out there, nation. We love y'all. We will see you for Thursday night football. Raiders, no game then, but I think it's what?
Daniel Jimenez says chug shot clock round 2.
All right, this is what we're going to do then. I'm going to go take a pee. And every $10 super chat that comes in while I'm gone, we'll do that. Are you good for that or no?
Every $10 super chat in the next 60 seconds.
60 seconds. All right. That'll be the final shot clock. Because then that'll be it, man. I don't know how much more I can do. Without eating anything, that's all I can do. Mitch looks like me when I watch the Raiders. Faded. Richard Bennett, why is Averett still on the team? I think you're talking about... I was thinking like Damon Arnett, but they look alike. That's just... Sorry. Averett is a player that this Raiders coaching staff still wants to work out. Unfortunately, he's just been a utter disaster. He really, truly has been. Is that lagging? Or is it just moving that slow? I feel like that time is moving slow. Either way, Averett to me has just not been a good fit since he's come back. He looked
Yeah.
a lot better in the preseason. He thought he looked better in training camp practice as well. But since coming back on the field the last 2 weeks, teams are targeting him. And,
30 seconds.
Oh, God. Teams are just flat out targeting him.
40 seconds.
All right, MD,
Or
pour
20
up.
20 seconds left. Shot clock is going right now.
MD, this is for you. Whew. Chugs, you're going to do the one for Buddy Bear.
Yep. Will you pass me a fireball? All right, 10 seconds left.
Oh, God.
I'll do the Buddy Bear. That was for MD. You said pour up.
Pour up, MD.
Oh, Buddy Bear.
I voted, but not for McDaniels. He should be impeached.
All right, 10 seconds left.
Oh, man. Alan Cruz tuning into the fun now. That makes me nervous. That makes me nervous. Oh, my goodness.
I'll do Alan Cruz. That's it. That's the last one. Daniel
Jimenez.
Bang! 5-5. That's how we're ending the show because Mitch has got to go and get messed up.
Oh, man. All right. I'll see y'all later.
That's what I'm talking about.
Trivan said I was being nice. Trivan, I appreciate that.
Drive it.
Trivan's a nice guy. We'll let the fax machine roll in. All right, that's 1.
2.
I got about a few more in me. Yep, Ricardo, I'll see you later.
3, 4.
Oh, my God, bro. Oh, shit.
5.
I think it's the most fireball shots I've ever done in a short amount of time. I love fireball, but it's gross right now. Yep.
6 and 7.
I know where I'm going to be in 10 minutes.
6 and 7.
8.
And 9.
Last one. Daniel, I love you.
It's 8. His is 9. Here's 10.
Ready? Cheers to you. Cheers to the nation. I'm out. I'll see you guys Thursday. Daniel, one of the MVPs tonight. Y'all
Don't forget his
What?
for the boot.
Oh, the sticker. How could I forget? We got one more spot.
One more spot on the Raiders boot. Trivan, I know you're watching.
Oh, man.
One more spot on the Raiders boot, and then we are auctioning it off for Thursday Night Football this week.
Daniel freaking Jimenez.
One more spot on the Raiders boot Hall of Fame.
Dude, some of these stickers, they're almost too good.
Oh, God, no.
What?
He said, by the way, did you check your Venmo?
That's just not good. That's not good.
Mitch.
Dun.
Done.
Also, Jeremy, clock's still going. All right. Here we go. I'm going to look. I got a notification. It's usually not a good sign. The only notifications I have are that I owe Alex money. For Target? Interesting. I don't know what I owe that money for, though.
I don't know. Trivan said check Venmo.
Bro. Trivan, I'm on there, man. I don't see nothing. So, I got one more shot. I got one more shot to do. I mean, you can see it. You can refresh. That's the phone. Oh, man.
Oh, he said LOL. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, you got him.
Got him.
You got him.
Got him.
That's funny.
All right, guys. Oh, man. Here we go. Here we go. I don't know why people are saying, what is happening? Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I don't know. Some people are saying some stuff. I don't know if I want to exit yet. You see this? I don't know. All right, guys. I think it's time to go.
Yeah, I don't know what are they saying in the chat?
I don't know. We will see. See, I'm looking for...
They said TMZ. Somebody fill us in with what's going on.
Yeah, what the hell are we talking about here?
The chat is out of control.
It is out of control. I'm going to go on TweetDeck real quick here. Hang on a second.
They're saying something happened with Crosby.
I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything. Josh McChicken.
I think y'all might be pulling our leg.
And maybe they are.
Josh McChicken says it hasn't dropped yet.
Okay. We'll see.
I think my leg's getting pulled.
Yeah, I can feel it too. All right, guys. I'm heading out. Appreciate everyone. I love you all. It's been a hell of a show. If there is any more breaking news, I'll do my best. I'll come back here and break it all down for you. From me, from Jeremy Chugs, this has been a unforgettable show that I'm probably going to end up forgetting. So, cheers to you guys. I'm out. Major shout out to all of y'all. Much love. Peace out. And that's a wrap. Put a bow on it.